Okay, so fans outside of the NFL experience are still making their way in here or getting set to watch the draft outside of the home of the Dallas Cowboys. The Browns are about to be put on the clock. Is it Baker Mayfield? Is it Darnold? Is it Allen? Could it be Rosen? Could it be Barkley? Could it be Chubb? Here comes Roger Goodell to open the draft, and he's joined by some special guests, all former winners of the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award presented by Nationwide, and also Cowboys royalty.
Welcome, football fans, to the 2018 NFL Draft, Texas style. I can't believe you guys are booing the Cowboys. Come on. Thank you all for being here, and for all of you tuning in across the country to welcome our future NFL stars. We already have a record tonight. Over 100,000 fans are here in AT&T Stadium, both here, inside, and outside the stadium. That's a tribute to you, the fans. I'm joined by three of the greatest men to ever play for the Cowboys. All three are Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year and are models for the newest class of players, for their excellence on the field, but more importantly, for what they do off the field in their communities. Troy Aikman, Jason Witten, and Roger Staubach. Give it to them, guys.
Oh yeah, look at Staubach throw deep. He just threw one to the Steelers section. Fantastic.
No, you stay right here. Don't go anywhere. Wait just 1 second. So if you're ready, are you ready? Let's get it started. The 2018 NFL Draft is now officially open. The Cleveland Browns are on the clock.
All right. The Browns are on the clock right now. It's the 2018 NFL Draft presented by Verizon, live on NFL Network and Fox. Steve Mariucci, Troy Aikman, and Steve Smith will join us shortly as we're looking at the Honda War Room cam looking in on the Browns and the draft party all nervous. What will the Browns do first overall? Will it be Baker Mayfield? Will it be Sam Darnold? The thought coming out of the combine was that it could be Saquon Barkley. This is a team that made a lot of maneuvers right on the outset of the new league year. This team made some big-time acquisitions. Mike Mayock, what do you think is going to happen with the Browns tonight?
Well, I mean, let's set the tone for a second, okay? If you're John Dorsey, and you're the new general manager of the Cleveland Browns, this first pick of yours sets the tone for your franchise. It shows all the players in the locker room what a new Cleveland Brown looks like and smells like by your definition. So you got to get this thing right. The guy's got to be great off the field. He's got to be great in your locker room. He's going to help you set the culture for the future. And when I look at that, and I look at the quarterback position, which it has to be, from my perspective, the guy with the highest ceiling and the highest floor is Sam Darnold. And I also know he's the guy that will be in there grinding away in the morning and at night. From my perspective, they got to take him at 1. And if they don't trade out of 4, which is a possibility, they're either going to get Barkley or Chubb, both of whom fit that team like a glove. They can't mess this up as long as they get number 1 right.
There's no question. And for me, this is kind of like the icing on the cake. They've made a lot of good decisions in the last year plus. Off-season acquisitions, and last year's draft, I thought that was really good. I think they've got a really good defense that meshes well with their defensive coordinator. They're very attacking, so I agree. They have to get a starting quarterback out of this, and then another impact player of some kind. And this could be a huge jump for this franchise.
Everybody talks about all those quarterbacks the Browns have missed on. The guys they've picked that haven't worked out. Well, there's an equally long list of guys they've passed on. So for all that talk about let's take Saquon Barkley at 1 and wait around and see who falls to us at quarterback, no, you cannot do that. You've got to pick one that you love, and you got to do it right here at number 1.
Well, the first look of the Bud Light best available players, it could be simple. It's everybody. It's everybody who's draft eligible. Basically, this is a way of taking a look at the top of your draft board, just with that, regardless of position, Mike. You've got Saquon Barkley as the number 1 available prospect in the draft, followed by guard Quenton Nelson, Bradley Chubb, Roquan Smith. You don't even have a quarterback in your top 6. And not even Baker Mayfield in your top 10, Mike. Why is that?
Because I think that those 2 quarterbacks are better, Rich.
Very good. Very good. Sometimes the direct answer is the best.
When you're trying to do a top 100 and not by position, we stack these quarterbacks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's like people think you're going to stack them at the top end of the draft. But the best 3 players in this draft, from my perspective, are Chubb, Nelson, and who's number 3? Mr. Barkley.
Okay, very good.
Well, to me, look, people have tried to make the comparison saying we're elevating these quarterbacks. There's a difference. Elevating them's okay. That's not a bad thing. It's when you're trying to create a quarterback. That was the Ponder, the Gabbert year. These guys can play. All 4 of these top guys, and I'd throw 5 in there with Lamar Jackson, I think will be starters in this league.
And there's no question about it, because what we know, and Daniel and I being on those teams, in those war rooms, you can't win without a quarterback. Nope. So if you have one and you need one, or you need one, and there's one there for you, you got to take them.
Well, what the Browns are doing is elevating the drama for all the conversation that we heard today is that Dorsey's known it for weeks. He's just kept it to himself and not told his wife, and told Hugh Jackson only in the last 48 hours. We got 4.5 minutes left on the clock here, and what is it, Dorsey just waiting to see if the phone does ring for that proverbial offer he cannot refuse?
The cynic in me thinks television may have something to do with this.
Look, the teams that I've worked with, I've been the guy that's on the phone. So you're in the office on the phone with these guys back here, and I've been instructed, don't turn the pick in until there's 30 seconds left. I want them to talk about us. Hopefully they say some good things.
Is that right?
Honest truth, yeah. And then if they start going negative, put the pick in. Get the pick in.
You know, if we're going to take this Browns discussion to another level, let's assume they're taking a quarterback at 1, whichever one, okay? Number 2 could be Barkley. Number 3 is another quarterback. So at 4, if they get Bradley Chubb, I've heard a lot of people say, why would they take him when they took Myles Garrett a year ago? This is an exciting pick if they get Bradley Chubb. You pair him with Myles Garrett. You've got a guy named Emmanuel Ogbah, who's a really good pass rusher also. You've got Carl Nassib, who has the versatility of playing inside, outside, and you're building a sub-package front that's going to go hunt quarterbacks. Coach mentioned Greg Williams is really aggressive, and trust me, folks, if you're a Cleveland Brown fan, this defense is better than people think. They're ready to win now on defense.
All right, 3 minutes to go now until we get the Browns pick revealed finally. Steve Mariucci on our outside set. What are you thinking, brother?
You know, I worked with both of these guys before. John Dorsey in Green Bay. I was a coach. He was a scout. And I know he can keep a secret, okay? I don't know why he's using up the entire 10 minutes. But I also worked with Hugh Jackson. He was my offensive coordinator at the University of California. And we ran the West Coast offense. And now he's tweaked that offense since then, but I know he wants a smart guy, and he wants a guy with some mobility. He likes to move the pocket and change the launch point, Troy, because he doesn't want to go back in the pocket all day long. Movement, play action, keeps, those kinds of things. Does that eliminate some of these guys? Does it say Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold? Those are the kind of athletic quarterbacks I know he likes.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say, this is going to be the Wild Wild West. So why not just get it started? Take a quarterback at number 1, and then go to number 4 and take another quarterback and see if you can grab 2 more picks. Say Buffalo with 12 and 22, or New England, who has 2 picks. Go ahead and call me. I got what you need. Let me go ahead and go shop with a Hall of Famer's credit card.
Well, I think if you look at the quarterbacks in this draft, all of them come into this draft and haven't been coached up all that hard. You talk about Hugh Jackson in Cleveland. They also have Todd Haley, who's going to be in his first year as offensive coordinator. He's done a great job at every stop that he has been, most recently in Pittsburgh. I can assure you, whichever quarterback lands there, he's going to be coached up, and he's going to be coached well.
Well, the pick is in, guys. As a matter of fact, the Giants are already on the clock and have been for a minute, so they already have the information. And phone lines are ringing, and Hugh Jackson is currently strolling around inside the Berea, Ohio Browns war room shown by Honda. If it is Darnold, then the Giants might get Barkley and be open for business for another quarterback. If it is Mayfield, the roof will be torn off of this building, and all sorts of phone rings in New Jersey with the Giants will happen. But it's time to get the first pick of the 2018 draft. Here is the commissioner to make the announcement.
With the first pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Baker Mayfield.
Wow.
Quarterback, Oklahoma.
It is Baker Mayfield.
He likes swag. He likes confidence. This kid's a competitor. If you're looking at the plus side of him, you know, he's under 6'1". He finds lanes to throw. He's thick in the chest. He's highly accurate. Playmaker, highly accurate on the move. His character has cut both ways in different buildings with GMs and head coaches I've talked with. Now, when you look at him on the field, there's a lot to like. Against Texas, little pump fake, throws him open into the secondary, wide open. I like him best, though, when he's on the move. Little fake, play action, plenty of time in the red zone, pulls it down, rolls left, great throw. He throws the wide receiver open to the back line of the end zone. Again, highly accurate, pump fake, and trust me, he's an athlete. He might not run 4.5. He's an athletic, competitive kid. He's going to light up the locker room. What I don't like is he misses a lot of underneath coverage, especially when the pocket collapses. He never saw the free safety. It was an easy pick. I saw a lot of that when the pocket constricted. However, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, hey, Troy, they're going to strap it up in Cleveland, baby.
Well, let me tell you, I mean, I'm surprised, to be quite honest with you. His name started surfacing a couple days ago, and I thought it really was a smokescreen. Here's a guy who already has created an upset because he's a walk-on Heisman Trophy winner. Now he can add another upset to his resume as the #1 overall pick. You look at his tape, Mike, and he has a lot of good things working for him. First of all, what stands out is that he has a love for the game. He plays with a great deal of passion and a lot of swagger. And the guy who was last picked in the first round at quarterback for Cleveland was none other than Johnny Manziel. This guy's been compared to him. Baker Mayfield has a much better arm than Johnny Manziel ever thought of having. I know this, the spotlight's not going to be too big for him. There certainly is going to be a lot of expectations. This team has a lot of holes to fill. But I would not be surprised, even though they have said Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starter in 2018, I wouldn't be surprised if Baker Mayfield's not your starter week 1.
You know, Troy, these Cleveland Browns, two things they haven't done much of lately: win football games and protect the football. You go out and get Tyrod Taylor, and he was in the playoffs last year. Very low turnovers. You go draft Baker Mayfield, he protects the ball, and he's won a lot of football games. But when I watched him for a comparison, I had to go back. I heard Russell Wilson, I've heard Drew Brees. I saw Jeff Garcia when I watched him. Talk about somebody that's a little bit frenetic when you watch him in the pocket. Very busy, but he throws with excellent accuracy. He can anticipate, he can throw a touch, and when he extends the pocket, he's not looking to run. He's looking to make plays and throw down the field, and that's something that Jeff Garcia had some success with.
Well, Baker Mayfield was the apple, supposedly, of the Jets' eye in the Big Apple. He is now off the board. The Jets are now more than a minute into being on the clock for their pick because the New York Giants have not traded this pick. They have made it. Could it be Sam Darnold? Could it be Saquon Barkley? This is a linchpin pick of the 2018 draft after a stunner of a beginning. Here's the commissioner with the pick of the Giants, and they're booing the Giants. They're booing the Giants here in Dallas.
Let's go with that.
With the second pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Saquon Barkley, running back, Penn State.
So one of the most dynamic running backs we have seen come out of college. He gets a hug from his coach at Penn State and James Franklin. This young man does it all, and he will now be the dynamic running back that, let's be honest, the Giants have rarely ever had. And with Eli Manning under center and Odell Beckham out wide, Sterling Shepard out wide, Evan Ingram on the line at tight end next to Nate Solder, the protector that they got in free agency. This young man is about to go to the New York Giants and play in New York City and the New York metropolitan area. Wow. Big night for Saquon a couple of nights after he becomes a newborn dad. Mike?
Best football player in this draft. 6 feet, 233 pounds. What I love about what he's going to do for New York, and Rich, you touched on a little bit, he's going to make the quarterback better day one. Eli Manning is a better quarterback when you can take some pressure off him with a run game. You also shorten the game for your defense, so you help your defense, and you also help your offensive line. He's powerful. His lower body is unbelievable. Watch this run against Iowa, USC. Double jump cut, now the cut back. He's breaking ankles everywhere. At 233 pounds, he runs 4.4. Lower body. We want to talk about a powerful man. Watch him run through tackles, and then that 4.4 speed to the edge. You want to play a man-to-man with a safety or running back, forget about it. A little stick nod route makes it easy for his quarterback. He's got the ability to split wide like a Le'Veon Bell in the pass game. The only thing you can possibly say on the negative side is he tries to make too many big runs and sometimes too many lateral jump cuts, too many negative plays, but that's just frustration. At the end of the day, the New York Giants just got better because of this guy.
And it's time to welcome Saquon Barkley to Primetime, delivered by Pizza Hut. Prime, take it away.
And you're sitting up here shaking your head like it's a moment. You just became a father Tuesday with your daughter, Jada, and now you're the second overall pick going to the New York Giants.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to be able to experience two of the biggest moments of my life in the same week. I'm so thankful to be able to be a father and have a gorgeous baby, a daughter, Jada, back home, and to be here with the people I love, my mother and father, and cherish this moment.
You're graded one of the best, if not the best, to come out of this year's draft. What should the Giants expect from you?
The Giants should expect a guy who's passionate about the game, who really loves football and a true competitor. And hopefully I can come in there early, be a leader, and try to play as early as possible and do the best as I can.
You believe in Eli?
Yes, sir. I believe in Eli.
You believe in Odell?
I believe in OBJ.
And I'm sure they believe in you. Congratulations.
So Saquon Barkley, you got it. He's a Giant. Troy, your thoughts?
Well, what it tells you right off the bat is that Dave Gettleman did not believe that any of the quarterbacks left on the board were a franchise quarterback. And so now you look at Saquon Barkley and what he brings. This Giants offense has not had a top 15 rushing attack, but one in the last 7 years. So a 37-year-old quarterback, he certainly helps that offense. They brought in a couple of offensive line. They still need to get better up there if they're going to truly take advantage of this young man's abilities. But I like that he's a three-down back. We saw some of the things that he's able to do as a receiver. He's a good blocker. I agree with Mike Mayock, #1 player in the draft. Great pick.
And he goes to the Giants, 2nd overall. The Honda War Room cam presented by Honda, showing Dave Gettleman on the right there. There's Steve Tisch next to John Mara. The Giants draft party, they are just ecstatic. They cannot believe their good fortune. That young man wearing number 13 is also personifying, in a way, Odell Beckham's excitement. He just tweeted out moments ago that Saquon Barkley is in the backfield with Odell Beckham out wide. Eli Manning just got himself a heck of an offensive weapon with Nate Solder to keep him upright. I mean, the Giants have made some interesting moves. Coach Shaw, your thoughts on this?
You know, I think about what Terrell Davis did for John Elway late in his career. You know, you've got a running game, you've got guys to throw the ball to, and Mike mentioned earlier, shorten the game and have a big impact guy, but you think about what Ezekiel Elliott did to the Dallas Cowboys. This guy, and I did 4 games, he broke 27 tackles. He broke 27 tackles in 4 games. So some of those handoffs that the Giants have been getting 3 and 4 yards on, some of those are going to go for 60. This guy's special, and automatically for me, this team's a contender.
Meanwhile, the Jets have 3.5 minutes left on the clock for them, and when they moved up from 6 to 3, Mike McCagnon making that move after not acquiring Kirk Cousins in free agency, making that trade with the Indianapolis Colts. As you could see, he's not pictured, but looks like shaking hands towards the top of the screen there, and the Honda War Room cam showing what's going on with the Jets pick should be in shortly. I don't know if when Maccagnan made that trade with Chris Ballard, he would have thought in a million years he would have a choice between Darnold, Rosen, and Allen, 3rd overall. What do you think they're discussing or just celebrating in that war room, Mike?
Yeah, and they move from 6 to 3, and they have to understand the possibility that they could be picking the 3rd quarterback. What happens instead is they have the opportunity to pick perhaps the #1 quarterback on most people's boards, Sam Darnold, and that's who I expect the pick to be.
It was an aggressive move to make really a blind trade. You never see that, to go up to number 3, not knowing who you're going to get at that point in time. It looks like it could work out absolutely perfect for him. One thing about this division, though, the AFC East, Tom Brady's not going to play forever. And a lot of these teams are in the quarterback market this draft. Which team gets it right tonight could go a long way and decide the next decade in that division.
Yeah, and the Bills with 2 first-round selections have been heavily rumored to be coming up maybe at 5 with Denver. Maybe Chris Ballard wants to keep moving back at 6. They make a trade to go there at 6 if Allen or Rosen is the apple of their eye. There's also Lamar Jackson sitting out there, Mason Rudolph, the quarterback sitting out there, but Darnold might be the name we hear next, Mike.
Look, at the end of the day, they gave up a whole lot, but it doesn't matter if the kid can play who they're about to announce, and I really believe it's Sam Darnold.
Okay, here comes the commissioner with the Jets pick. The last time and only other time they chose a quarterback on the top 5 was a USC quarterback in Mark Sanchez. Could it be deja vu all over again?
With the 3rd pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Sam Darnold, quarterback, USC.
So there he is, 20 years old. In other words, almost half the age of Josh McCown, going up the steps and adding his name with Teddy Bridgewater to the Jets draft quarterback room. The 3rd overall pick in the draft is Sam Darnold out of USC.
And I've got to be honest with you. I think the Jets have hit on a quarterback that can play early. But the beauty of the situation right now with the Jets is because they re-signed Josh McCown. They can play him when he's ready to play. It's a little bit like Carson Wentz a couple of years ago with the Eagles. They had Sam Bradford. If it took him a year, it was okay. If it took him 8 games, it was okay. If the kid's ready week 1, it's okay. But it's going to be on his schedule. Now he's 6'3.5", 221 pounds. He's the consummate playmaker. He keeps his eyes up to extend the plays. The only downside, ball security is an issue. Not just interceptions, but in the pocket with fumbles. Now let's take a peek at him at USC. I love when he extends the play. He's looking left. He feels it back right, though. Steps up into the pocket. Look at the eyes. Stay up. Now throw him open on the back line of the end zone. That is a beautiful throw into a tight window. Play action on the run. Highly accurate on the run. Great throw. Touchdown. And again, is he an athlete? Scored 20-plus points a game in high school basketball, 3-sport star. He can beat you with his legs. The downside, ball security in the pocket, way too loose. Now, when that ball gets kicked out in the pocket like this, he's got to clean it up. And the way I look at this, Troy Aikman, you and I are on the same page. We think that this kid's the best quarterback in the draft. And I ask you as a former quarterback, I think you can clean up some of those issues mechanically in the pocket with the football. Do you agree?
I do agree. Let me say this, Mike, that what's interesting about the New York Jets, they gave up a lot, as we know, to move up 3 spots into that number 3 position, and it very easily could have turned out that they got the 3rd best quarterback. I think, and we'll never know for certain, but most teams had Sam Darnold picked as their number 1 guy, and I'm not so sure that the Jets didn't get the guy that they would have taken had they have been the number 1 pick. As far as Sam Darnold, he does. He checks all the boxes. He's big. He's able to make plays outside the pocket. You look at his tape and the things that he's able to do. There's some of the creativity that he has. In fact, I think some of his best throws came when he was on the move.
I agree,
see him
Troy.
working the pocket right there and then finding the receiver down the field. He's spent a lot of time this offseason working on his throwing motion. Jordan Palmer, his quarterback coach this offseason, tightened things up. His pro day was outstanding. He threw in the rain. He'll have some of those conditions when he's with the New York Jets. You talk about the turnovers. Those were problematic. He had 22 turnovers just this past season in 13 games alone. I believe that those are things that can be coached out of a young player, and I expect that to happen with Jeremy Bates as his offensive coordinator.
And Troy, two quarterbacks early in their NFL career that had issues with fumbles, Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson. You live with some of that because you've got the playmaking to go with it, and he's got to continue to improve in that area. I think Sam Darnold will. And Rich, this guy's wired the right way to handle New York. I was in the stadium in that Rose Bowl against Penn State. He throws that touchdown to tie the game, and he was like this. The criticism's not going to bother him in New York.
Darnold is the 5th USC quarterback in the common draft era to be selected in the first round. In 1991, the Raiders took Todd Marinovich, 24th overall. The Bengals took Carson Palmer first in 2003. Then another USC Heisman Trophy winner, Matt Leinart, 10th overall in 2009. And then again, the only other time the Jets chose a quarterback in the top 5 in the common draft era, Mark Sanchez, 5th in 2009. Sam Darnold is the highest drafted quarterback by the New York Jets since Joe Namath went first overall in the 1965 AFL draft. Welcome to Primetime, delivered by Pizza Hut Prime. You're with Sam Darnold.
Sam, first pick of the New York Jets. Is that pressure right off the top, knowing that you're going to New York?
No, I know wherever I'm going to go, there's going to be pressure. I'm just going to go do my job, whatever the coach is asking me. I mean, I'm just so happy to be in the NFL, but now it's time to go to work.
When Baker Mayfield went first, did they kind of throw everybody off back there a bit and say, oh, what just happened?
I mean, it is what it is. You know, you never know what's going to happen in the NFL draft. So I was on my toes ready to get that call. Once I didn't, it was on to New York. And then now it's the Jets, and couldn't be happier.
What should the Jets expect from you?
A lot of wins. You know, I think that's what I can bring to a franchise, and but at the same time, I know that's the process. But I'm ready to go to work, like I said.
Back to you, Rich.
Well, Prime, appreciate it. With the drafting, the Jets cornered the market on bridge quarterbacks during free agency, including a quarterback with the word bridge in his name. There's now 5 guys in the Jets quarterback room. The Raiders fan Cube might have 2 new Big 3 teams based on just the Jets quarterback room if they want to play some hoops. But instead, they're going to focus on some football. Ian Rappaport, what are the Jets going to do?
Rich, there's always a fallout when a team takes one position. What's going to happen to some of the other players at that position? I'm told Teddy Bridgewater's status on the roster is in doubt only because of health. His physical was pretty close. They want to see what happens when he gets on the field, how healthy he is before they decide if he's someone who will be on the team going forward. Another thing to watch, a possible traded for. I'm told, Rich, the Bills do not at this point want to give up 2 first-round picks. Sounds like the Browns are sticking.
Yeah, and the Browns, of the pick is in. The Broncos are now on the clock. Leonard Williams, as he's fighting on with his new teammate, Leonard Williams from USC, one of the top draft picks by the Jets a few years ago, just had his 5th-year option picked up. He is all fired up. Coach, you have competed against Sam Darnold. Try to go point for point with him and try and keep him off the board. What do you think about his ability to play in the National Football League?
You know, I think the guys have been right all along. This is a competitor. This guy's got great feet. He throws the ball accurately from the pocket. He can escape the pocket and really hurt you. We had this guy tied down multiple times in 2 games this year, and he finds a way to get out of trouble and makes that 1 in 100 toss pass right over a guy's
Coach,
outstretched arm.
Did he remind you in the interview with Dion of a quarterback you coached at Stanford with that demeanor?
There's no question about it.
Oh, my gosh.
This guy's ready for everything. This guy's ready. And there's a name that was mentioned that I don't think everybody really understands. Jeremy Bates. He was out of the NFL for a while. Jeremy Bates is going to do an outstanding job with this young man. He's going to work on his pocket presence and ball carriage, and he's going to give this guy great progressions. He's going to work through the progressions. I'm really excited about this pick.
All right, so the Jets get Sam Darnold. Now the Browns, who shocked everybody with the pick of Baker Mayfield atop this draft, their second choice. This is the one they acquired from the Texans when the Texans moved up to get their franchise quarterback, Deshaun Watson, last year.
With the 4th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Denzel Ward, defensive back, Ohio State.
Okay, so another surprise from the Browns and all the Ohio State fans in Ohio are excited over the pick that Denzel Ward doesn't have to leave the state to play professional football.
It's always what you hear early in the process, Mike. I heard quarterback and corner were the priorities when John Dorsey got there. We traveled a winding road, but that's exactly where we ended up.
And think about it. This was a need. This was a big need more than defensive end was a need for them. Even though I still believe the better football player is Chubb, they fit a need with a big-time athlete. Wow.
And Bradley Chubb is a huge Von Miller fan. He could be a teammate of his when we come back. All right, so the first 4 picks have not disappointed in the NFL Network coverage. Also on Fox, we're thrilled to be partners with Fox here at the NFL Draft. And this summer, the World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1. Every match live. And over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. Less than 4 minutes until we hear the Broncos pick. And again, it's amazing how these things happen. If you had told Browns fans when Baker Mayfield planted the flag in Columbus that 1 and 4 in the upcoming draft would be Mayfield and one of Ohio State's finest in Denzel Ward, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up.
The crazy thing, I went to that game here, the Cotton Bowl game with Ohio State and USC. Denzel Ward didn't play to save his draft stock, and Sam Darnold turning the ball over in that game created a lot of questions. So it's interesting how that dynamic in that game and here changed both their fortunes.
And again, John Dorsey is a guy that believes in 27 years. He's a very talented evaluator. Nobody questions him. He doesn't really care about criticism. He's immune to conversation. They're going to make a pick and go forward. It's Baker Mayfield, and they got the best corner in the draft, and they took care of an issue right there. They got a starter day 1 at corner. And now we kind of turn the table to Denver. And David, you and I looked at each other like this is a couple of years ago a Super Bowl. How'd they win the Super Bowl, Coach?
Rushing the passer. And you can see Bradley Chubb joining the Denver Broncos and having a chance to get him right back there again.
And they got Nelson or Chubb, 2 of the best 3 position players in the draft, staring them right in the face.
And a very special announcement about to be made by a special young man, Austin Denton, a St. Jude patient, coming out with the commissioner. He is a big-time Broncos fan, and he wants my job, but he can't have it until I'm done with it. This kid's a really neat dude.
The NFL's continued support of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital helps ensure that all kids have a chance to play 60. This year, the NFL, NFL Network, and Rich Eisen help raise $180,000 so that no family ever receives a bill from St. Jude. With me tonight to announce Denver's pick is Austin, who is a St. Jude patient. Austin is 17 and an aspiring broadcaster from New Mexico and a big Broncos fan. Austin has benefited from the care teams at St. Jude and is an inspiration to all of us. Okay, Austin, let's show them how it's done.
With the 5th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Bradley Chubb, defensive end, NC State.
And again, this young man from NC State, when he heard how much Von Miller was impressed by his game, he was a fan. And now he's a teammate of his. It is a dream moment for Bradley Chubb coming true. He is a Denver Bronco.
And think about their edge rush ability here with Chubb, Von Miller, former first-round pick Shane Ray going into they've got to make a decision on him on his 5th-year option by May 3rd. But the 3 of them getting after quarterbacks in a sub-package, wow.
You lose a corner. Instead of getting the corner, you get somebody to get to the quarterback before it matters.
Well, think about the division they play in now with all the quarterbacks. I mean, this is a phenomenal pick.
David, I believe that this team's closer to the Super Bowl team of 3 years ago. Now that they signed Case Keenum to be their quarterback, they've stabilized that situation. I think Case Keenum is good or better than Peyton Manning was at the end of his career. And now you're going to get after quarterbacks the way they can get after quarterbacks.
So Bradley Chubb, the draft party in Denver, Colorado there. They're clapping the thunder sticks together as this guy knows how to hunt. And the top edge rusher is now on the same line as Von Miller.
Call him 6'4", 270. He sets a physical edge in the run game. Violent hands. Impacts the quarterback in the pass game. And I think he's going to have a similar rookie impact as Joey Bosa did as a rookie. Hey, Dion, how's Bradley doing down there, Dion?
Hey, he's doing really well. He's excited because he knows he gets to play the opposite of Von Miller.
Yes, sir. I mean, you heard him the other day. He said, he felt like I was a combination of him and Khalil Mack. So being able to learn from the best, I feel like it's going to be one of the best things ever.
What got you here? What is that one intangible that got you here?
On the field, I feel like it's just my motor, the way I play the game, how fast I play. And off the field, it's my family, man. They backed me up this whole time. Shout out to all my folks in Rockmart watching this. I love y'all. My parents in the back. I just love everybody.
And let's get his swag, too, man. He's stepping in the name of love. Back to you guys, Rich.
All right, Prime. So the Colts did not wait very long. The top offensive lineman in this year's draft, you've got Quenton Nelson, your third best prospect available in the draft. You've got Andrew Luck needing to be protected. And you've got his old coach sitting up here who I think would bum rush Indianapolis if they don't take Quenton Nelson right now.
But
on
here's the conversation right now in their room. It's everything you just said about Quenton Nelson, which I believe in, versus whether or not Roquan Smith, who a lot of people believe is a generational player at inside linebacker. Okay, I think that's the conversation in that room. I believe the offensive lineman trumps all to protect Andrew Luck.
I love Roquan Smith, but they've been trying to fix this offensive line for forever, and coach might run off the stage if we don't take one.
I think from the franchise perspective, Andrew Luck is the franchise. He's going to be back. He's going to be healthy. He's raring to go. And to put a guard in front of him that can keep his ability to push up in the pocket and make those big-time throws would be outstanding.
Well, either way, the fact that they're going to get somebody that you think is generational in Roquan Smith or the best protector of a quarterback that's available in this year's draft at 6 and all have the Jets treasure trove of number 2s to drop down. This is a win for Chris Ballard and the Colts, whoever the name is right now. And we'll get it from the commissioner. Pick number 6. No trades just yet so far in 2018. Here's the Colts pick.
With the 6th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Quenton Nelson, guard, Notre Dame.
Okay, so moments ago, Sam Darnold drafted by the Jets 3rd overall after the Browns went Mayfield 1, leaving Josh Allen and Josh Rosen in the green room waiting. And you can follow every pick, every trade, every move of the 2018 NFL Draft. Check out the Draft Tracker presented by Lexus on NFL.com. The wait will soon be over for one of the Joshes, it appears, because Ian Rappaport inside that beautiful Jones Mahal with the sun setting on the Metroplex. The Buffalo Bills have traded up and made a deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's right, Rich. The Bills did not want to give up both first-round picks, and they have stuck to that. I'm told they're giving up 2 second-round picks and number 12 for the right to come up to 7. Is it going to be Josh Rosen or Josh Allen? That is the choice right now for the Buffalo Bills. They believe, get their quarterback of the future.
Yeah, it's pick 53 and pick 56 if it is those 2 second-round picks for tomorrow night. The Bills fans in Western New York are excited. It does appear that it could be Josh Allen. Or it could be Josh Rosen. You never know. Let's send things to our outside set to chew on that, gentlemen.
All right, guys, they're trading up to get a quarterback. We know that. And let's look at their quarterback situation. A.J. McCarron, we have a 2-year, $10 million contract. That's not forever, all right? That's not like Case Keenum with $25 million guaranteed. So who's the best player right now that could take it and learn as quick as possible to take over this starting job? To me, it's Josh Rosen, because he's a smart guy that comes from a heck of a system. He seems a little bit more ready to do this right away, Troy.
Well, what I would say, first of all, kudos to Brandon Beane. He knew last year that the quarterbacks were going to be heavy in this draft. He traded down last year in order to give himself an opportunity. He had to move up. That fan base wanted a quarterback out of this draft. As far as who are they going to take, I like Josh Rosen. He was number 2 on my board coming into this draft, but I believe they're going to take Josh Allen. I think he fits that Buffalo market better. I think with the big, strong arm, he's going to be playing in tough conditions. I just have a feeling that he's a better fit in that community there in Buffalo than Josh Rosen.
I mean, both of those guys are a perfect fit, but I think Josh Rosen, because I just think his accuracy and his ball placement is what they need in Buffalo, and he's the guy.
He sure is the guy, and I think that you're playing in cold weather. You got to have big, strong hands because you got to cut through the wind, the rain, sometimes the snow, and bigger hands usually. And Josh Allen is the better athlete of the bunch. It's going to be interesting. Rich, take it back.
All right, so the pick is in. The Bears are on the clock with the Bay Area teams behind them. Here's the commissioner with the first announced pick acquired by trade in 2018.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have traded the 7th pick to the Buffalo Bills. With the 7th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Josh Allen, quarterback, Wyoming.
So the kid from Fresno who played his college ball in Wyoming is going to Western New York, hoping for all Bills fans that he is the second coming somehow, some way of Jim Kelly to bring a Super Bowl trophy to the Lombardi Star fans there in Western New York. Mike, your thoughts?
Couple of things. Number one, I give them a lot of credit for being patient, not going all the way up to 2, giving away all their draft capital. They let the game come to them at number 7, and they got their guy. Number 2, think about the culture in that locker room. That's an important thing for Sean McDonough and Brandon Beane. They got rid of a lot of players. This is their kind of player. He's got crazy arm talent. Play action, under center. Watch him climb the pocket and look at this arrow. Bang. This next throw is one of my favorite of all time. Climb the pocket, make a guy miss. Roll left. Now rolling left, throw it 40 yards into a tiny window in the corner of the end zone. And then what kind of athlete at 6'5", 237 pounds? Quarterback counter, quarterback power, quarterback keep. They ran it all day long. The issue with him, sometimes he throws the ball late. Anticipation, timing, and accuracy. Josh Jackson picked them off cleanly. I think he's a project. Like a lot of big arm quarterbacks, I think he's going to take some learning to know when to throw the football, get it out, throw it early. And he's got to work on the accuracy, guys.
No question, Mike. When I look at his accuracy issues, that's what's been talked about the most with Josh Allen. And when you study him, one of the reasons for that is because everything is on a line and hard. So when you watch him, I actually see a little bit of what you saw with Cam Newton as a thrower. When you watch Cam Newton throw the ball, everything is on a line and it's flat. With Josh Allen, it's the exact same way. When he has to layer the ball over a linebacker, under a safety, he struggles with some of that. You see it here, his movement skills that he has. That's him as an athlete. You love that. But, Coach, he's still got a ways to go before he is a consistent passer.
And you can see there's the video of Carson Wentz on the screen. He had virtually the same exact measurables, height, weight, speed, 40-yard dash at the combine as Carson Wentz.
Let me touch on one thing DJ just said. Talked about the quarterback Cam Newton in Carolina. Remember, who was the coach, the defensive coordinator there? It was Sean McDermott. Where did the GM come from? Carolina. They're used to a power pitcher with some accuracy issues. Troy, what do you think?
Well, Rich Eisen, you talk about measurables, and that's really what the draft is about. It's about measurables, and nobody has them better than Josh Allen at 6'5" and 230 pounds, and he's got a rocket for an arm. I was at his pro day. I saw him throw it 80 yards, so that excites everybody. He's able to make a lot of throws. When I watched him, he was great on his initial reads, and when he can drive the ball, he was really good. Struggled a little bit when he had to lay it, and when he had to get to his second and third receivers, it was a little bit problematic. The thing that stuck out, like you said, Mike, is that on easy, now he didn't have a good offensive line and he didn't have really good receivers, but even on easy throws, he missed a lot of those, and you just simply can't miss them. Whereas I think a Sam Darnold can correct the problems that he's had protecting the football. I think as a quarterback, when you're inaccurate, my experience as a player and studying these guys for the last 17 years, you usually do not overcome that. That's going to be a challenge for him, but he's got big upside, as we all know.
And the way that a draft board is worked, again, the Bills used the first-round pick that they had from their own quiver to move up to 12 with the Bengals and then up to 7, and using one of the second-round picks they got in the Sammy Watkins trade with the Rams last year and another one of their own to go get the quarterback they hope is of the future. And it's time to welcome Josh Allen to Primetime, presented by Pizza Hut. With you, Prime. Take it away.
Hey, the Buffalo Bills fans are going berserk behind you. You hamming it up. You're showing them the lining of your jacket. You're showing them everything. And then, you know, they're waiting on Jim Kelly to come back, right?
Absolutely. You know, the Buffalo Bills, great organization. They got the best fan base in the world. I'm blessed to be a part of it.
Have you ever doubted that this day would possibly come?
No, never doubted. This is the only thing I've ever wanted to do. Just be standing here, have them chanting my name. It's an unbelievable experience.
Well, a day like this does not come without adversity, and you handled some adversity early on. How did you fight through it?
You know, I trusted myself. I trusted my family, the supporting cast around me. You know, people that know me know me. They know who I am. You know, I'm just blessed. I'm blessed to be in this position today, sitting here talking to you. On top of the world right now.
Well, you're clean. You're looking good, by the way.
I got the Dion stamp of approval.
You got it, man.
Gotta love it.
All right.
Time,
hey, back to you guys.
Well, the Bills said that they thought that they could get the quarterback that they wanted without giving up any draft capital from next year, and they didn't even give up a first-rounder that they have in their back pocket from the Patrick Mahomes trade from last year. They still have that one later on tonight.
I talked to a couple GMs in that same area that said they'd rather get the 2 second-round picks because of the type of draft it is this year than the 1 first-round pick.
And the Bucs are going to be on the clock after the Niners, Raiders, and Dolphins. First up, though, the Bears pick, the first one of Matt Nagy's administration in Chicago. What are they going to do right here?
Well, I think the only offensive player that could be under consideration is Mike McGlinchey, the tackle from Notre Dame, but my gut tells me defense. There's some difference makers out there, 2 safeties, and the guy I think they're going to take, Roquan Smith.
With the 8th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Roquan Smith, linebacker, Georgia.
Well, Coach Shaw, you showed me a tweet moments ago that Vic Fangio had a hole-in-one today, right? Playing golf?
Absolutely. This has been one heck of a day for defense coordinator Vic Fangio.
It's a double-ace day. He's got pocket rockets here.
He was with us at Stanford and gets a hole-in-one today early in the morning, and today finds out he's got the best linebacker in the draft, and some would say one of the top 2 or 3 players in this draft, Mike.
And, Coach, I would tell you that the MVP of Chicago's defense last year was actually Vic Fangio. They were number 9 in the league in points allowed with not a lot of talent. They need this kind of talent infusion. He's today's NFL off-the-ball linebacker. He's 6'1", 235, runs 4.5, sideline to sideline. He can be a 4-down player in the NFL.
And, of course, Bears fans know that if you want to play winning football in Chicago, you got to have somebody right in the middle of that defense. Waiting and waiting and waiting. And he is the quarterback waiting to be picked along with Lamar Jackson in that green room right now. Next up, it's the 49ers about to have their pick. The Oakland Raiders are already 2 minutes on the clock. And then there's the Dolphins who are sitting out there, or it might be a home for Rosen. At any rate, let's get the Niners pick.
With the 9th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Mike McGlinchey, offensive tackle, Notre Dame.
All right, so some muscle, some protection for Jimmy G. Protect that monster investment that they made in their new quarterback. Mike?
Yeah, 6'8", 309 pounds. He is a flat-back pile driver in the run game. He's got the work ethic and passion of his cousin, Matt Ryan. He'll set a tone both in the offensive line room and a culture in the locker room. Left tackle's got nasty to him, heavy hands. I've known this kid since he was 15 years old, and when he gets his hands locked on you and can anchor down, it's all over. Again, punch, anchor down, drop your hips, that's easy. Occasionally, he will break down in the pass game. Against Georgia, he gets that left arm pinned by Davin Bellamy. Big play at the end of the game, but trust me, he learns from his mistakes. He is the cleanest tackle in this draft. And how about Notre Dame? Mike McGlinchey, Big Q, 2 offensive linemen in the first 9 picks. That is a testament to their offensive line coach, Harry Hiestand, who's now with the Chicago Bears.
So let's send things out to Troy Aikman. What do you think's going on with Josh Rosen, Troy?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I thought that he would have been off the board by now, but I think right now, looking at this San Francisco pick, I really like it. I think when you look at the fact they were able to bring in Jimmy Garoppolo last year, a second-round pick, where he would have ranked in this draft, he obviously would have gone pretty high. But now you secure that offensive line, a team that gave up too many sacks. Now they're going to try to protect this franchise quarterback. I think it's a good pick. You look at this right now with Josh Rosen, however. I know Miami Dolphins are coming up, and there has been talk about them potentially being in the market for a quarterback. I do know this. It may happen, but Adam Gase loves Ryan Tannehill. And so I would not be surprised if he slides beyond the Miami Dolphins.
All right. Thank you for that insight, Troy. Let's go to Ian Rappaport for the latest on all that. Ian?
Rich, the Oakland Raiders have had a very active draft room. They're getting calls from 2 teams. First of all, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers potentially coming up for a defensive player. Keep an eye on the Arizona Cardinals to trade up potentially for a quarterback. In fact, I am now told the Arizona Cardinals are in fact on the clock.
That's correct, sir. They hot changed the graphic behind you. Use a television term. All right, who could it be for? Is it for Rosen? Or
It's got to be. Yeah.
Okay.
It's got to be. It's Josh Rosen, and you know they wanted to get ahead of Miami just in case. I happen to believe. I agree with Troy. I think Adam Gase thinks he can win with Tannehill, but Steve Keim makes the move up to number 10. I don't know what it cost them yet, but at the end of the day, remember they had Carson Palmer for an awful lot of years, big arm quarterback. Steve Keim believes in that. And I think it's going to be Josh Rosen.
Well, you've been saying for the last several weeks, Mike, that the comparison that you make based on Rosen's injury history is Sam Bradford. Guess who he'd be right behind on the quarterback depth chart in Arizona?
Well, that's why I mocked him to Arizona at 15. I didn't have him trading up, and I'm not sure they had to. But at the end of the day, I think they get their guy.
And he is similar in terms of natural passer of the football? Is that the comparison that you're making there?
Bradford and Josh are beautiful natural throwers of the football. They get it. They can wake up at 4 in the morning and drill an 18-yard comeback. However, there's a history of injury with both of them. Josh Rosen, 2 years ago, shoulder, missed half the season. Last year, 2 concussions. He's got an inability to protect himself in the pocket. And Troy Aikman, here's my question to you. I know you like Josh. I watch Eli Manning. This kid's as good an athlete as Eli, but Eli knows when the play is over. Can you learn that at the next level?
Well, I think he's going to have to. I mean, that is a fact that he wants to try to keep plays alive. He's a mobile guy and that he can move around outside the pocket. When you look at his tape and what he's able to do, he's able to slide and find people down the field, but he is not a runner. I think Josh Rosen, you know, had he not have had the durability issues and some of the questions about whether or not he's coachable, I really think he would have been the first player chosen in the draft. He has the best throwing motion. I saw him 2 years ago in the summer, and he's the most natural, effortless passer that I've seen at such a young age, really at any time in my life.
This pick does make sense if it is indeed Josh Rosen, because he and Sam Bradford will both play the same style of offense from the pocket. This is a little bit like with Baker Mayfield going to the Browns. Tyrod Taylor is going to have a movement package with him, and here comes another athletic type quarterback to move around. Same here. Rosen and Bradford can run the same style of offense. He'll be a good mentor to him. That's what I think is going to happen, Steve.
I believe that all you guys are right, but also, too, Steve Wilks, a defensive coordinator in Carolina, now the head coach, understands that a great defense also needs to take the pressure off them by having some sustainability at getting a franchise quarterback. Offensive coordinator Mike McCoy understands that he wants a guy who could throw the ball, not a guy who can run around, who could throw the ball, be smart, throw the ball into the flat, do things that advance and matriculate the ball down the field, not make mistakes.
Yeah, and get the quarterback now, get another receiver to complement Larry Fitzgerald a little bit later, and off we go. Rich, back to you.
Rich, real quick, in a division with Jimmy Garoppolo, Goff, and Russell Wilson, you better go get a young quarterback.
3rd round pick and a 5th round pick is what the Raiders acquired from Steve Keim there is Steve Keim top left right there. to go up and get, we're assuming it's going to be Josh Rosen. There's now 90 seconds left for this pick to be had. Perhaps they're somewhere talking to him backstage right now. But as you mentioned, I mean, Jimmy G, Goff, Russell Wilson, and now it looks like Josh Rosen is going to be added to that mix right now. The pick has been made officially. Miami is on the clock, and the Raiders again amassed a couple of picks, one tomorrow night, one on Saturday, for them to wait 5 more picks to make the second first pick of the John Gruden coaching stint in Oakland. Your thoughts before we hear the pick one more time here, Coach?
If this is indeed Josh Rosen, I agree with Troy. I agree with Mike. This is the most natural passer to come out since Andrew Luck. He makes the wild throws effortlessly. He's got to learn how to get the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker. As Mike says, know when the play's over, throw the ball away. But I tell you what, when it comes to standing in one place and throwing the ball directly to a receiver, this is the best guy to come out since Andrew Luck.
One trade we haven't talked about is Baker Mayfield trading that chip on his shoulder to Josh Rosen.
Hey, he's waited a while, but it really is only about, think about it, an hour plus. But let's see if this is in fact the end of the wait for Josh Rosen and the end of the top 10 of a very highly anticipated draft.
The Oakland Raiders have traded the 10th pick to the Arizona Cardinals. With the 10th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Josh Rosen, quarterback, UCLA.
Okay, so after several years of having a USC quarterback at the controls, they will now hand the future at some point off to UCLA quarterback Josh Rosen. Enjoying a moment with the commissioner there. Arizona Cardinals is his home.
Come on over here.
Professional football. Sigh of relief.
Look at the
long night, a long wait for him over.
You know, I got a little tired of all the off-field stuff with him. I had a chance to spend about an hour with him after his pro day, and I liked his intelligence. He embraces conversations. He's curious. The one thing I would say, as an offensive coordinator told me after the LSU pro day, when we were talking about quarterbacks, he said, all I hope is wherever this kid goes, he trusts his coaches for the first couple of years, earns the respect of his coaches and his teammates, and then he can say anything he wants about the game plan and everything else. He can be as inquisitive and demanding, but earn it first.
As you could see in the common draft era, here's the UCLA roll call taken in the first round. There's Troy, first overall in 1989, followed up by Tommy Maddox in 1992. The Broncos took him 25th overall. And then Cade McNown, 12th overall, to the Bears back in 1999. And it's been a long wait. It's been a long wait. 1999, by the way, the last time 5 quarterbacks were taken in the first round, and we may see that tonight with Lamar Jackson. But for the moment, Josh Rosen, welcome to Primetime, delivered by Pizza Hut. Prime, take it away.
Josh, you got that look on your face like it's about darn time you called me from back there.
I'm just excited. I'm so excited. I just want to get on the field. I want to play ball, and I want to compete for Super Bowls.
It sounds like, and it seems like you want to prove something right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Chips only growing bigger.
Yeah, I can tell you're a little deterred, and I like that. Keep that chip on your shoulder and ball out, man. I'm proud of you.
I got you. Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Go.
Yeah, the time of talk is done for Josh Rosen, as you could see. Aaron Rodgers, who's gotten to know him and certainly has been working out with him on occasion. You saw some of the fruits of those workouts on NFL Network over the past several weeks. Aaron Rodgers congratulating him. Congrats, buddy. As we all know, Rodgers waited 24 picks to hear his name before he got out on the field, and we all know he's now first ballot Hall of Fame material. Here's Josh Rosen out of Manhattan Beach, so he doesn't have to travel too far to play his professional ball.
Beautiful natural thrower, understands concepts and design. We talked about the Sam Bradford comparison, both because he throws the ball beautifully and he's got a history of injury. Now, you've heard us talk about him throwing the football. Watch the balance. Play action, gets on his toes, and maybe it's the tennis player that he was growing up. He's always on balance. Clear vision, clean feet. Look at the throw in between the corner and the safety. He is a beautiful natural thrower. Play action again. This time, watch him look the safety off to the left. He moves the safety with his eyes, Now he's going to come back and throw skinny post to the right. Resets his feet, falls out quickly, beautiful release. Now he takes a lot of hits, climbs the pocket, takes a hit, but watch where the throw goes. And I maintain he takes too many hits, and in the NFL he's going to have to learn how to protect himself. But at the end of the day, if he stays healthy, the Arizona Cardinals have a big-time quarterback.
Well, the pick is in for the Miami Dolphins. The Bucs are now on the clock. Troy Aikman, your thoughts on the Bruin going to Arizona?
Well, the first thing you hear when you talk about Josh Rosen is his intelligence, and I'm not so sure why that's a surprise. I mean, the kid's from UCLA, for crying out loud. Of course he's smart. But he has the highest football IQ of these quarterbacks that are going in this first round. He had 3 different offensive coordinators at UCLA in 3 years. Learning the playbook in Arizona will not be a problem for him. Mike McCoy is going to be terrific for him and allowing him to do the things that he does best and challenge him. And I think Arizona is a really good fit just in terms of being a West Coast guy and getting to stay in that part of the country there in Arizona indoors. I think it's going to turn out great, and I think he's going to have one heck of an NFL career.
One thing that he has that these other quarterbacks don't have, Rich, is David Johnson coming back healthy. That's a big help to a young quarterback.
Well, one would think it's going to be Sam Bradford to start, wouldn't you think? I know everyone's
I
talking about Darnold
wouldn't
and Rosen being the most pro-ready, but that's something to chew on. Right now, let's get the Dolphins pick 11th overall.
With the 11th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Minkah Fitzpatrick, defensive back, Alabama.
All right, so they get a little back end of the defense help. And he's going down to South Florida. He's already got a sort of, is that Crockett or a Tubbs suit that he's got on right there, going to South Florida?
That's Crockett.
Okay. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate that.
Which one was Don Johnson? I can't remember.
Nice look at him.
It was Crockett.
Minkah Fitzpatrick putting on a Miami Dolphin uniform. Mike, your thoughts on this pick?
Yeah, really good fit for Miami because you pair him with Rashad Jones. They can move T.J. McDonald, the dime linebacker. He's 6 feet, 204 pounds. And he can literally play any position back there. 9 interceptions career, 4 taken back for a touchdown. He's got free safety range. I think he can match slots and tight ends. In other words, man-to-man coverage, drop down and cover a slot and be physical enough to cover that tight end. Here he comes, working underneath all the way across the field. When you talk to Nick Saban about this kid, Nick Saban lights up. Nick Saban started him as a rare starting true freshman defensive back. Watch him feel the crack back block, spin into the tackle. They worked him in the box this year. I think you have to have a plan for him. He's got free safety range, but where are you going to play him so he gets around the football more often? Alabama last year had him in the box a lot. Boy, when Nick Saban talks about him, he almost gets choked up. It's really, he loves this kid, and I believe he's an all-around defensive back.
The next pick in the draft about to be announced. Mike?
Yeah, and he's a very logical pick here. Think what Jason Light did, the GM for Tampa Bay. He traded from 7 to 12, picked up 53 and 56, 2 more second-round picks. They have 3 picks in the second round. I think this is Derwin James, the safety, or possibly Jair Alexander.
All right, here comes the commissioner with the Bucs pick.
With the 12th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Vita Vea, defensive tackle, Washington.
Oh, yeah, double V going down to Tampa. What do you think, Mike?
I love the player and I love the outfit tonight. I'm surprised at the pick just because they signed Bo Allen in free agency, Mitch Unrein in free agency. They still have Gerald McCoy. They reworked that entire front of their defense. They were number 32 in almost every defensive category. I thought for sure they were going defensive back there, DJ.
Yeah, this is a team that couldn't rush the passer at all last year. Last in sacks. They made the move, though, to go get JPP to put him in that mix. Now you look, they were last against the pass, last in third down, last in sacks, last in total defense. There's a lot of guys that could help them, and Vita Vea can help them in both areas.
6'4", 347. This is a freakish dude now. He can move. You can't move him in the run game. Reminds me a lot of Haloti Ngata. I think, DJ, you were in that war room when Baltimore drafted him. And look at the hump move right there in the middle. The Reggie White hump move. That's what he does best. When he's fresh, when he's not tired and plays with leverage, he can be special. Really, look at him just control the middle and two gap. That looks like Stanford to me, David Shaw.
Oh, I saw a lot of this guy.
And again, double team against Stanford. Stays low, gets under it, throws everybody off, collects a bunch of trash, and finishes the tackle. Look at him on the punt team against Penn State in the bowl game. He ran a 5.1 40 at 347. Two things. He's got to control his weight, number one, and the true value of this guy is how many snaps he gets in your sub package.
That's a heck of a defensive line being built down there. A bowling ball of butcher knives, as 99 would call it.
There you go.
All right, let's welcome him to Primetime, delivered by Pizza Hut. Prime.
Vita Vea, your smile is infectious, man. You are loving this moment. From a running back in high school to this?
Yeah, man, this is a lifelong dream that just came true right now, man. I'm really excited right now.
You ready to get down to Tampa?
Man, I'm ready to fly out right now. They told me they would call me back about the flight situation, so we'll find out pretty soon.
I like your swag. Can you explain everything to us?
Huh?
Explain the outfit.
Oh, I got the little velvet on. I chose this because I think it complements my skin color, and it'll make me stand out today.
Can you pronounce your whole name for us, please?
What was that?
Your whole name. Just like I said, back to you, Rich.
Well, I don't think that's going to fit on the back of a jersey. But Coach Shaw, I'm sure you circled him a lot in your meeting room.
I tell you what, it might not fit, but it's pretty close. This is a wide human being. This guy is big, he is physical, he is fast. Mike said he's a freak, there's no question about it. That hump move, that Reggie White hump move, I saw it on film so many times. He takes 300-pounders with one hand and flips them over. This guy flips his hips and runs to make tackles down the field better than any defensive lineman I've ever seen. I found him after our game, walked across the field and gave this guy a big hug. This was my favorite player, not on my team, in our conference this year.
That's really cool.
By the way, the hullabaloo in the room is that they're showing Redskins video to tout the fact that Washington is now on the clock in Cowboys country. Look at that scene. Let's send things outside. Mooch?
Rich, I'd hope that you don't ask me to spell his name on game day morning, okay? Maybe Vita, I can do that.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what, guys? I remember this kid in high school. He's from Milpitas High School, right down the street. And in high school, he played a running back. Look at this. Over 500 yards rushing. I'm not going to tackle that guy. 11 touchdowns. He was playing linebacker, the whole thing. All-state, first team. What a beast. They just got to keep this 347-pounder's weight down, feed him some salads at lunchtime, but what an athlete he is. And Troy, you know how pressure on the inside can really affect the quarterback's footwork.
Well, there's no doubt, and Mike Mayock talked about the trade for Jason Pierre-Paul, and then, of course, they signed Vinnie Curry, so you've got the outside pass rushers, and now you combine him with Gerald McCoy inside. That tape, that high school tape that you pulled up, I mean, it shows the athleticism that he has. That pass rush is going to be formidable, and it's going to help that pass defense that really struggled this past year as well.
That pass defense struggled, but you can always remedy that by having a great D-line, and that becomes what Vita, he becomes a great defensive line. JPP just added 5 sacks onto him, and also, too, there were other teams that wanted to move up, because when you look at his tape, he just throws people around. He chases. He has a high motor. He'll run just like Haloti Ngata. He'll run 10, 15, 20, 30 yards down the field to make a tackle. You never count him out. Great pick.
All right, it's going to be fun to watch this guy. Rich, back to you.
All right, guys. So Gerald McCoy likes the pick. Or he was trying to attempt to spell the full name.
Hey, Rich, the Philadelphia Eagles just won a Super Bowl rushing quarterbacks with waves of players.
Sure.
And that's the way the league's going right now.
Okay, this will be an interesting moment. The Redskins pick in the home of the Cowboys.
I would think it's either going to be Derwin James or Daron Payne.
With the 13th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Daron Payne, defensive tackle, Alabama.
This kid, as we know, he can score, he can catch, he can pick it off, he can do it all, this kid.
6'2.5", 311. Prototypical Alabama 5 technique or defensive end, defensive tackle. He's the premier run stuffer along with Vea in this class. He can affect the quarterback. I thought the upside he showed in the pass game versus Georgia was his best game of the season. Look at the get off and the flat back right there. Drives that center 3 yards in the backfield and makes the play. As the season progressed, he got better and better in the pass game, but look at the double team. Saban's defensive ends do that as well as anybody in the country. They're well taught, they understand role responsibility, and there's that get off again in the championship game against Georgia. He was dominant. He got sacks, he got hits on the quarterback. You can't run the football against him. And look at him get the edge against the center that time and get up the field, DJ.
Yeah, he's going to join his college teammate going in there with Jonathan Allen, who they took last year. They're recreating that Alabama defensive line in Washington.
They've also got Ryan Anderson coming off the edge from the second-round pick last year.
So I don't think you can discount what Mike said there. That get-off, that explosive get-off in the run game, that changes games. When you can play the game on that side of the offensive line from a defensive line position, that's huge.
And he's at home in Birmingham, Alabama. And it's this at-home look presented by Oikos 000. And in the home of the Cowboys, a guy potentially drafted to stop Ezekiel Elliott on the way to Dak Prescott. Just
Ian Rapp, we have a trade. Saints moving up to 14. Tell us about it.
Rich, Mooch, the Saints give up a first-rounder from next year. 2 possible targets. I'll give you one. Louisville quarterback Lamar Jackson, who was in the Saints building and they love. Here's another name to watch. Pass rusher Marcus Davenport from UTSA. They consider him freakish. They believe he is the final piece to their team. That is a possibility here, Mike Mayock.
Yeah, I really believe that it's going to be quarterback Lamar Jackson. And I believe it for several reasons. Number one, Sean Payton is an outside-the-box thinker. Number two, they have a backup quarterback by the name of Taysom Hill on that roster. Ran 4.4 from BYU. If you're going to commit your entire building to a new scheme and a new philosophy once Drew Brees retires, and that's more the college scheme, then you better have 2 of them in case one gets hurt. So Taysom Hill, Lamar Jackson, I believe, will be the quarterbacks of the future for the New Orleans Saints. And I think Sean Payton is excited about potentially welcoming Lamar Jackson to New Orleans.
Can you see Lamar Jackson and Alvin Kamara in the same offense for a decade?
I tell you what, I don't know
with Sean Payton pushing the button.
I don't know if there's a better place for this young man to go. We talk about all the things. If this young man will commit to his coaching staff, he will commit to improving his footwork and not being flat-footed, having some knee bend and having a good base. Where else better could he go than sit behind Drew Brees and learn how to go through a progression, work a West Coast offense, manage protections, operate the pocket, and then take off and do what he does best, which is change games with his legs. This could be a huge move for the Saints.
You get one of the most creative play callers, and now you give him somebody like Lamar Jackson. It's endless, the possibilities, what you could do in that backfield.
You don't trade a number 1 in a future year's draft for anything other than a quarterback, right?
I don't think so. And I think Sean Payton, like last year, I had a conversation with Sean last year about Kamara, and he knew how he was going to use him. I had a conversation this year with Sean 2 weeks ago about Lamar Jackson, and he knows how he's going to use him. Trust me.
What a fun moment this is. The commissioner comes marching in with the Saints pick, moving all the way up from 27 to 14, using next year's 1 and pick 147 in this year's draft to come from 27 to 14. Could this be a night that was starting off with a Heisman Trophy winner, and then with pick 14 being another Heisman Trophy winner, becoming the first draft since 1999 to have 5 first-round quarterbacks in one night, and it would be done in the first 14 selections.
Wow. Which then puts Mason Rudolph on the clock, potentially.
Well, it's been 35 years since we've had 6. The vaunted 1983 draft, the Kelly Marino Elway draft, or as Jets fans would refer to it, the O'Brien draft. So these Saints fans here, again, there's Kamara and
Mike Thomas on the outside.
Wow.
This is so exciting because I think he watched what Bill O'Brien did in Houston last year with Deshaun Watson, and this is the next level.
The Green Bay Packers have traded the 14th pick to the New Orleans Saints. With the 14th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Marcus Davenport, defensive end, Texas San Antonio.
So it was Marcus Davenport, not the quarterback. And here we were talking about Sean Payton's next offensive step.
Ian, I apologize, my brother. You were right. I was way off, and I don't mean to diminish Marcus Davenport at all. This is an exciting young edge rusher. He's very raw from UTSA, but his upside is off the charts. He's almost 6'6", 264 pounds. And when you're talking about an edge rusher, DJ, he's raw but gifted. I love his motor, his body type, and how raw he is coming out of school reminds me a lot of Ziggy Ansah.
Yeah, he's big and explosive. He has no plan as a pass rusher, but he's still been productive. I think he's got a lot of room.
Okay,
Oakland,
so
right?
wherever you are, keep it here, wherever the here is for night 2 of the draft. Tomorrow night, NFL Network and Fox, we're back at it again for rounds 2 and 3. We're at pick number 15 for night number 1. Again, the Saints just traded up from 27 to 14 using next year's first as the capital to do it. And instead of what we thought it would be, which is a trade for Lamar Jackson to plan for post-Breeze, they go get Marcus Davenport and hit the win it now button for the remaining window of Breeze. And a coach that's known for just rolling the dice. Maybe this is his version of the onside kick in the Super Bowl right there. Just surprised everybody, and he just goes for it. That's what just happened. Now it's time for the second first pick of John Gruden's tenure in Oakland. When he first made his first pick as the Oakland Raider head coach, that pick was Charles Woodson. Wow. Let's see what they come up with here after trading down from 10 to allow the Cardinals to move up to select Josh Rosen. The silver and black pick of John Gruden's second administration there.
With the 15th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Quenton Miller, offensive tackle, UCLA.
So some protection
Baltimore's
for
traded the pick.
Derek Carr coming out of the green room right now. And he'll just move up the coast in Pac-12 country and play for the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, I thought they wanted Michael McGlinchey at 10. When San Francisco took McGlinchey at 9, Oakland trades down from 10 to 15. They get the number 2 offensive tackle in this draft. Keep in mind, Donald Penn, the incumbent left tackle, is 35 years old and makes an awful lot of money. You can plug him in, I believe. Now, he could start on the right side, DJ, but he's 6'8.5". He's got a great athlete. He only answered the bell 23 times in 3 years. Durability is a concern.
So making the uniforms in the back right there. The Bills just traded up with the Ravens, moving up from 22 to 16. Who's that for? Back in 60 seconds to give you the latest. Okay, so the Bills are moving all over the draft board, man. I mean, they moved up a couple of months ago to 12 in the Bengals spot, and then they moved up to 7, and now they've moved from 22, which they got in last year's draft for the Patrick Mahomes trade for the Chiefs. They used that 22 to go up to 16, and giving the Ravens an extra third-round pick tomorrow night and getting an extra fifth-round pick from Baltimore on Saturday. And by the way, one of the second-round picks that the Bills used to go up from 21 to 12 and then 12 to 7, they got from the Rams in the Sammy Watkins trade last summer.
Right.
So that's just the way that you acquire draft capital and move all over the place. But now stop geeking out on that stuff. Let's figure out what they're doing this for. You think,
Look,
Mike?
Brandon Beane has been really active. I like what they've done so far. If they go offense, I think it has to be a wide receiver, either Ridley or DJ Moore. But the higher-ranked players are still on defense. There's Tremaine Edmonds, Jair Alexander, Derwin James, who's the highest-ranked player on the board right now. So you would think it'd be a defensive player, but I think it's wide receiver if they go on the other side.
You don't think Ozzie Newsome would trade out to allow somebody else to take the best Alabama player available? We'll see what happens. Bills back.
The Baltimore Ravens have traded the 16th pick to the Buffalo Bills. With the 16th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker, Virginia Tech.
19 years old and all grown up at 19. This is a stout defensive player. This barrel-chested 19-year-old young man coming out of the green room right now, getting ready to run downhill and play some defense in Western New York.
I think they said that tight end in New England didn't retire, Mike. So you get to meet him pretty quick.
He doesn't turn 20 until next week on May 2nd. He turns 20. He's an off-the-ball linebacker that some people can think he's so talented that he might even be an edge defender, a pass rusher on third down. His future is immense. I think Sean McDermott's excited about him. 6'4.5", 253. Guys, he ran 4.54 at the combine. Doesn't turn 20 until May 2nd.
Wow.
He's got this rare size and skill set that gives him a sub-package versatility that is unknown in today's game. Watch him chase people down. Look at him run. Look how smooth he is at 253 pounds. Again, watch him track the quarterback now. Inside out, there's the 4.5 speed. So we've established speed. How about in the flat? Open field against Walton, the scat back from Miami. Can he pivot and drive on a slant route and break it up? And now off the edge. Again, he pivots, makes the tackle in the open field. He is a super freak. He's super freaky.
Wow. I'm sorry, that just threw me for a loop.
Me too, by the way. I thought DJ was going to start crying.
Just came right out of here right
it
there.
Did. Strong.
All right, let's welcome them to Primetime, presented by Pizza Hut. Dion?
I just heard our whole broadcast team up there, and Mike Mayock was saying you're super freaky. He was saying you're super freak, man, with all the intangibles that you bring to the table.
You know, I'm versatile, man. I can move around. You know, a long guy that can move out in space, a guy that can play stack, a guy that can pretty much do everything out there. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm excited.
And a guy that hadn't turned 20 years old.
Sir?
A guy that had not turned 20 years old yet.
I know it. Birthday next week, so, you know, a lot of excitement going into it, man. I'm ready, man.
What's more exciting, this or your birthday? What's going to happen?
Man, I say this. I'm living in the moment, and, man, it's a good experience, man.
Great experience. I'm proud of you, my man. Back to you, Rich.
All right, Prime, thanks very much. The draft party in Buffalo, they're loving it in Orchard Park, New York, with Josh Allen and Tremaine Edmonds. That's a lot of human that they've drafted in the first round tonight.
Going big. And DJ said it's kind of a joke with Gronkowski from New England, but that's what this kid can do. He can cover tight ends. He's faster than them, and he's as big as them. It's a matchup league, and that's a really good pick.
To me, he's a lot like Anthony Barr, the way you've watched him, how he's been used with the Minnesota Vikings. That type of size and length and range is a huge asset in the middle of the field. But this is the philosophy they're going with. They play in Buffalo. They want big dudes. They got the biggest quarterback, and now they just added the biggest linebacker. Steve, what do you got?
When you look at this kid, he's young, but he dissects a play, and he hits the destroy button. He has sideline to sideline range. He's 19 years old. And Coach McDermott, having a coach, Luke Kuechly, he knows how valuable having a smart linebacker, but a physical linebacker can help your defense and make the world of a difference for your whole team, for the franchise moving towards the future.
Yeah, I hear you, Steve. This kid's not 20 yet. Think about where he's going to be at 25.
Oh.
I mean, this is outstanding film. You saw the film. He's flashy. He's long. He's athletic. At 25 years old, this could be one of the best outside linebackers in the NFL. And I agree with what you said earlier. I would put this kid on the edge. I teach him how to play Sam linebacker, play those tight ends, and on third down, cut him loose on the quarterback.
I talked to some people that are working with him leading up to the combine, and they put him with the defensive line group, and they said he was freaky coming off the edge, and with a lot of work, he could be special on third down there.
So the Los Angeles Chargers are on the clock, the Seattle Seahawks right behind them, and then it'll be a nice moment here with the Dallas Cowboys on the clock in the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Marshawn Lattimore wondering how Derwin James is still on the board.
I think that has to change with this pick, DJ. I'm looking at this as
Gus Bradley.
What?
Gus Bradley. This is a perfect fit for his defense.
It's the perfect high-low system. They have not re-signed Trey Boston. They've had a hole at safety. It's one of their biggest needs. And somehow, I never thought he'd slide there. I think you sprint that thing up, and it's Derwin James.
Well, they have taken 6.5 minutes on the clock right now. Steve Mariucci?
Thanks, Rich. Yeah, the Chargers, I don't see him taking a quarterback here. Phillip Rivers is still very good, very healthy, and eager to play and get to that new stadium. So Derwin James is a guy that I coached in the Under Armour All-American game. He and Minka Fitzpatrick and some other guys. He's a heck of a kid, a heck of a player. He would really be good in that division over there, Troy.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Mooch, that you look at the Chargers and kind of where they're at. I don't see them taking a quarterback either. You got Ken Wisenhunt as their offensive coordinator, and, of course, Phillip Rivers. Yeah, he's winding down the end of his career, but we do know this. Whoever ends up taking Lamar Jackson, it's going to be an all-in commitment to his style, and things are going to have to change, and I just don't know that that's the fit for the Chargers.
Well, the Chargers are one of the teams that were talking to Lamar Jackson. Obviously, a lot of teams were intrigued by the Heisman Trophy winner, Ken Wisenhunt, chatting with him, and that's an interesting aspect here. The pick is in as Seattle is now officially on the clock. Mike?
Yeah, I'd love to give Anthony Lynn a little bit of love here. When you see a team start 0-4 under a new coach, you can talk to this. That's a shaky moment. You've got to keep that locker room. They ended up, what, 9-3 the last 12 games, and I give Coach Lynn a lot of credit for keeping them together.
A very well-respected coach in this league. He's got that locker room they're right alongside him. He's got his quarterback that trusts him and believes in him, and those two together, I think, turn that franchise around.
All right, the pick is in. The Seahawks are on the clock. The Cowboys are on deck after that with the Lions in the hole. So that's the way things are going. Let's go to the podium right now and get the latest Los Angeles Charger from the commissioner coming out here in Big D.
With the 17th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Derwin James, defensive back, Florida State.
So Marshawn Lattimore needs to tweet no longer. Here he is. He's no longer available. He's going to play his football in Southern California.
He's really a good football player. When I first put the tape on, you expect with a bigger safety to see some hip stiffness, some hip tightness, and you don't see it with him. He can open his hips and drive to a deep half or a deep third. He can cover tight ends man-to-man, and when he gets there, he arrives in a bad humor.
Florida State, better known as DBU, has a proud history of sending men to NFL secondaries. The Jaguars selected Jalen Ramsey, 5th overall, just a couple of years ago. Xavier Rhodes before him, 25th overall to the Vikings in 2013. Crow, Antonio Cromartie, 19th overall in 2006. Terrell Buckley went 5th to the Packers in 92. And then our very own Deion Sanders went 5th overall to the Atlanta Falcons in 1989. Prime, it's now welcoming Derwin James to prime time, delivered by Pizza Hut.
Yeah, Rich, this guy's unbelievable. He's stunned right now. He's taking his time to get over. He's so blingy and everything. I got to get him in position, man. Excited?
Man, I'm happy, man. Let's do it. I'm ready to go to work.
Did you get it? 10 minutes short. Did you get a little upset back there in the back? Like,
I feel like 16 teams, they tried me, but, you know, I'm coming in work. You know, I'm happy the Chargers came and got me, man. Like I said, I'm coming in, and I got something to prove.
Can you tell him what college you came from, man?
What you say?
What college did you come from?
Florida State University.
DBU, Florida State, baby. We back. Back to you, Rich.
All right, so German James goes on a night that's been full of surprises. What's more surprising? Mayfield at 1, the Saints trade up and use a 1 next year for Marcus Davenport, or Mike Mayock singing Rick James? So as soon as we're done, NFL Total Access on NFL Network, and yes, the Packers are on the clock, and you can tell on the side of the hotel down there in the Metroplex. They're on the clock because Seattle just traded down and Green Bay just traded up. So again, Green Bay was 14th overall, but traded down so the Saints could come up and draft Marcus Davenport. They grabbed next year's one from the Saints for that. And so now Green Bay is back up in 18, and Seattle getting a 3rd-round selection essentially to move down here. And Seahawks fans are starting to freak out because they don't want him to trade out of the 1st round. Again, they've only had 1 first-round selection since 2013, and they're perilously close to doing that again. That's for later on tonight. What do you think this is about?
Well, let's keep in mind, Brian Gutekunst, the new GM for Green Bay, a little different than what we've seen over the year with Ted Thompson was a stay-in-your-lane guy. Gutekunst is going back, coming back up. My gut tells me it's either a wide receiver, again, Ridley, DJ Moore in the conversation, or a corner, Jair Alexander, Mike Hughes. I would think if they go corner, it's Jair Alexander.
And to get ahead of the Cowboys, I lean towards receiver a little bit because I think the Cowboys might be in that market.
So Ridley, DJ Moore, that's what you're talking about.
Those would be the 2 that would come to mind.
Yeah, I don't think Cortland Sutton would come into play for them, but that's the conversation also in Dallas.
Okay, so let's go to the podium right now. So the Packers have moved all over the board. Came in at 14, then moved down to 27. Now they pop up to 18 to make this selection.
The Seattle Seahawks have traded the 18th pick to the Green Bay Packers. With the 18th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Jair Alexander, defensive back, Louisville.
No. I like this pick. Jair Alexander has some swag about him.
Yeah, I know.
He's the #1 corner on my board. Missed 6 games this year. A lot of people thought he was going to go later because of that. However, in addition to be competitive, tough, he tackles, he finds the football in the air. He also adds value in the punt return game. And I think Green Bay, and keep in mind, historically, Green Bay only takes corners that can find the ball in the air. And this kid does it.
And he can play inside and outside, which is a huge benefit.
Watching this guy, I thought about the Honey Badger. He's a little undersized, but he's all over the field making plays in the run and the pass.
I mean, he's 5'10 and a quarter, 196. He plays bigger, Coach.
Yes,
and that's what I like about him. He competes in tackles. Length can be an issue. You see guys going over top and taking the football. He's a double cut punt returner. That means he can make 2 people miss. That's a new one for you, Rich.
I like it.
And here's the XO. And all I really want you to see is this is against Clemson when he was healthy 2 years ago. Look at him get to the football, 2 interceptions. Let's see if he'll force a fumble here. Strip the ball out. He's a playmaker everywhere, including the punt return game. Will he compete as a tackler? Oh, yeah. I interviewed him and spent some time at the pro day, and there's just a little swag, a little edge, a little that what you want to see from your corner, and he is going to challenge wide receivers from day 1 in Green Bay's camp.
So an addition for Mike Pettin, who's now the defensive coordinator up there in Green Bay right now. Formerly of the Cleveland Browns, being the head coach, getting another shot coaching. Des Bryant just tweeted out moments ago, if Cowboys go wide receiver. Now he's playing draft expert right here. Des likes Calvin Ridley.
Well, he's free. He could come up and join us.
He can't do that. There are the Cowboys fans at the front of the draft hall. The Honda War Room cam down the road in Frisco, Texas. There's Jerry Jones on the phone with the newest Dallas Cowboy, and laughs all around as our host for the draft this week. It was originally scheduled to be at the Star in Frisco, Texas, but instead it is now here inside the Jones Mahal, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. So it's time. Irv is now out on the stage. Drew Pearson, it's an 88 club out on the stage right now. Drew Pearson, the star of last year's draft in Philadelphia. Buckle up. Soaking up all the hate and angst from all the Eagles fans on Ben Franklin Parkway. Spitting it right back. Let's take it to the stage.
Right. The way I watched you catch passes as a young man, and the way you did things last year at that draft in Philly spoke volumes for Cowboy Nation in the Cowboys.
Yes, and watching you catch passes, that's why we got a legacy with the double eights.
That's right.
But we still need a receiver, and I think, what do Cowboy Nation think? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Let me hear you. Let me hear you. What do you think?
Oh, boy. Of course, Eagles fans would love to retort scoreboard by the end of the day after last year's draft.
They'll have their chance.
All right, Mooch, you're with Aikman and Steve Smith outside. What do you think?
Wow, I think everybody inside wants a receiver, don't they? You know, my goodness, seems to me. Come on, let's go, Cowboy fans, let's go. What do you want? These guys are crazy out here. The Cowboys are second in the league in rushing, but they're 26th in passing. Come on, we need a receiver right here. Troy, you got to score some points, don't you, to beat the Eagles? One of these receivers, Ridley, DJ Moore, or Sutton, ought to be their pick, don't you think?
Well, I think if you look at this, though, Mooch, the guys who have been the impact wide receivers in the first round have been first 10 picks. It's not a good history of success with rookie receivers late in the first round. Having said that, yes, the Cowboys need a wide receiver. They lost Des Bryant. They need speed. And I think if they're going to take one, it's going to be DJ Moore out of Maryland ahead of Calvin Ridley. If they don't take a wide receiver, I could see him going after a linebacker and someone on the defensive side of the ball. But if they stick offense, I'm going with DJ Moore.
I love DJ Moore. He's my spirit animal. I love the way he plays. Hey, I love DJ Moore. I have him ranked above Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley he's a fast guy, PhD in speed, but he's also very herky-jerky. He also needs to learn how to play through contact. With the corner, especially with Jameer Alexander, he puts his hands on folks. So Calvin Ridley has to play through contact. And Cortland Sutherland, he's a big target, but he's a project. With Des Bryant not being there, you need a guy who can immediately be an impact. Cortland Sutherland is not that guy. I have DJ Moore. There's some other teams that have texted me today. They're probably not going to like it, but DJ Moore is the guy. You get that guy, and you have instant grits all day long.
Troy, what do you think? What do you guys want?
Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
They want anybody that can catch the ball.
I think they're going to like anybody they pick.
Okay. Ian, hey, Rap Sheet, help us out. What do you know?
Well, guys, one of the players that the Cowboys have been targeting for weeks now, if they go defense, is Boise State linebacker Leighton Vander Esch, whose film stood out, who the Cowboys have known is going to be a first-round pick for weeks. They did a final check today on his neck just to make sure that a stinger he got a couple years back was fine. I am told they believed it was no issue at all medically. This is a player the Cowboys have loved.
All right, well, we saw on the Honda War Room cam Jerry Jones talking to somebody who they've picked, but they're milking the clock here in Dallas. It is a heck of a scene in here. Drew Pearson has whipped up the crowd into a frenzy. Everybody is standing. Anybody who showed up in a Cowboy uniform here tonight is standing, eager to find out who that brass that we're seeing on the Honda War Room cam in Frisco, Texas, decided is the newest Dallas Cowboy to put the star on the side of their helmet. DJ Moore, would you say that makes sense?
Well, look, DJ Moore is my #1 wide receiver, just like Steve Smith. I think he's got the most upside. He catches the ball and runs like a running back. He's got a little edge to him. I thought Courtland Sutton made some sense just from a size perspective. Remember what they did in the offseason? They signed Deontay Thompson, who's more of a vertical guy. They signed Allen Hurns, a little bit of a possession guy. I think they need some size. So in my head, it's Courtland Sutton or it's DJ Moore.
Leighton Vander Esch is pretty intriguing, though. When you pair him up with Jalen Smith, those are two young, athletic linebackers you'd have here.
I think Leighton Vander Esch is the best zone drop linebacker I've seen since Kuechly coming out of college.
All right, the pick is in. The Lions are already 30 seconds to being on the clock. And it's a frenzy in here. I mean, what a spot. They put the war room on the big screen here on the draft stage. Pick number 20 is on the clock. Pick number 19 for the Dallas Cowboys is in. The commissioner making his way to the podium. We already saw the Giants went Saquon Barkley. We saw the Washington Redskins go Daron Payne. The hometown Cowboys are about to make their pick with some very special guests coming out with the commissioner. Check it out.
The draft is a week-long celebration of football at all levels, and we salute those who play and coach high school football across the country. Joining us for the Cowboys selection are members of 6 high school football teams here in Arlington, Texas. Arlington, Bowie, Juan Seguin, Lamar, Martin, and Sam Houston. With the 19th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Leighton Vander Esch, linebacker, Boise State.
All right. So a little bit of the blue turf coming here and putting the star on the stage.
Understand this dude is 20 pounds heavier than the rest of the upscale linebacker class. Most of those guys come in at 235. He's 255 pounds. He finds a way to get under and over blocks in the run game, but in the pass game, I think he's special. I've never seen a linebacker since Kuechly understand crossing routes, how to get deep on a Tampa 2 coverage, and he's got eyes everywhere. Just an outstanding football player, and I preface tonight by saying I hope the cervical neck issue was okay. I couldn't be happier for the young man. It's awesome.
From 8-man football to the Dallas Cowboys. How about that story?
Really cool.
The Salmon River Inn in Riggins, Idaho is lit. Check it out. The Vander Esch draft party in Leighton Vander Esch's hometown. There they are, they're loving life as he is now joining the Dallas Cowboys.
Look at him, 6'4 1/4, 256. Like I said, 20 pounds heavier than the other premier off-the-ball linebackers in this draft. Best zone feel in the draft. He's got a very quick read and react. He can get stuck on big bodies. I'd like to see just a little more thump and physicality, but he's got this great feel to get under and over potential blockers. Watch him, inside zone. He's going to read and mirror the running back and drive to the tackle. Look at him get underneath and use leverage to win on the goal line. Remember, penetration's the key in short yardage and goal line. And then again, the ability to get under and around the football in the pass game, I think, is the key to him. He plays on third down. Look at the hustle. How many yards downfield to try and strip and make a tackle? Leighton Vander Esch is a 3-down linebacker. And trust me, these Dallas Cowboys, Sean Lee is what, 32 years old. Leighton Vander Esch is going to learn from a pro.
By the way, I do want to interrupt here that moments ago, the Raiders traded their 75th overall pick, 3rd round of the Pittsburgh Steelers for Martavis Bryant. So there they go.
How about that? That's interesting.
That is a Martavis Bryant trade to the Oakland Raiders. What do you think of that one?
What did they give up?
They gave up a 75th overall selection, 3rd round pick.
Wow. Well, for that 3rd round pick, I thought that's outstanding. You'd love to get a guy like that in the 3rd round. That's
Oakland
huge.
traded back to get some extra picks and then ended up making a move like this.
So it's amazing. The first wide receiver acquired in tonight's draft is Martavis Bryant.
And
think about that.
It's worth it to have a wide receiver conversation if we have 30 seconds right now.
Sure.
There hasn't been any impact wide receiver since the 14 draft, with the exception of Amari Cooper, drafted in the 1st round. And the way teams are looking at wideouts is not just comparing them to wideouts, but to tight ends and running backs. And they're saying, who's the most dynamic football player? Forget the label, and the wide receivers are getting pushed down because of that.
Leighton Vander Esch about to be welcomed to prime time, delivered by Pizza Hut. Prime, take it away.
Guys, he's over here exhaling and inhaling. I don't think that it's hit you yet, that you're a Dallas Cowboy now.
No, it has not. It has not. I'm so thrilled right now. I don't even know what to say.
Was this the team that you wanted to play for?
Yes, absolutely. From day one, I always wanted to play here. This is where my agent's from. Dallas has got some Boise State background to him. I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy to get the chance to come play here now.
Do you understand what the expectation is from these kids watching you right now of putting on that Dallas Cowboys star?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to live up to, and I'm going to do just that and more. I mean, like I said, we got Super Bowls to win, a lot of them.
I like that. Proud of you, big fella. You take care of me, man.
Ah, yes. A round of applause from the War Room. DJ?
All right, for my Dodge player comparison here for Leighton Vander Esch, Mike talked about how rare it is to see that size and length in an off-the-ball linebacker. Well, they have another one in this state. You go to Zach Cunningham, who's now playing for the Houston Texans when he was coming out of Vanderbilt. Very similar, long-levered guys, very productive and instinctive. You see him stick his face right in there. He's physical, but then he has that range, that length to make plays sideline to sideline. And we've seen Zach Cunningham make some plays early on in his career for the Houston Texans.
No doubt, interesting comparison, length, speed, ability to get involved in the pass game. I think, if I remember correctly, though, he didn't have any interceptions in college, did he?
No, I don't think so.
Hey, Mooch, what are you thinking out there, brother?
Yeah, I think he had 3 picks, Mayock. Listen, this is the story. Nice. This is the story of the draft. I'm telling you, because here's a walk-on at Boise State, okay? His dad drives a bus to every game. This guy came from 8-man football, was mentioned. His graduating class only had 11 in it. I hope he was the valedictorian, all right? But you know what? He's a heck of an athlete. He's a quick study. He's long. He can jump 39 inches. He's going to be a great player because he gets to play with Sean Lee and Jalen Smith and a couple of great linebackers.
Well, that's right. And Rod Marinelli, their defensive coordinator, he really likes this young man, as does the entire organization. And I think you nailed it. Mike Mayock talked about it. They got Sean Lee, who's 32 years old, a great player when he's healthy, but certainly he has been banged up. Jalen Smith didn't come back this past year the way that they would have liked from him. And then they lost Anthony Hitchens, the linebacker that they really liked, who left for Kansas City. So there was a void there in the middle. I think this young man's going to really help this defense, and I'm excited about that pick.
You got to be excited for this pick, but I hate to say it. There's so many great foundation-building defensive players that the offensive players, the wide receivers, are going to get pushed down lower and lower because the defensive players are Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame type players right here in the draft in the first round right now.
And the Cowboys will have a chance to get another receiver later on in the next round. Rich, take it back.
All right, the Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock now, already 2 minutes in. They were under 8 minutes on that pick. The Bengals are trading down into this spot a while ago with the trade with the Bills. Here's the Lions pick.
With the 20th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Frank Ragnow, center, Arkansas.
All right, so the Lions get themselves a center.
Yeah, that's a Bob Quinn, Matt Patricia pick right there. Remember, his first pick was Taylor Decker when he took over as GM. What they've done is they're going to kick Graham Glasgow to center, and this kid Ragnow can play guard.
So Ragnow takes Glasgow to a different position, is basically what you're saying. We're back with the Bengals, Ravens, Patriots, Panthers. All right, a reminder that when we are done with the first round tonight here in Arlington, check out NFL Total Access on NFL Network right away. And in the meantime, you can check out some of the Pepsi Zero Sugar draft tweets on the banner below. Boudet is right. The Bengals have just made their selection. The Baltimore Ravens, who traded down about an hour ago or 45 minutes ago with the Bills, they're sitting there at 22 with the Patriots behind them at 23. And Lamar Jackson's still on the board. What are your thoughts on that, Daniel Jeremiah?
This is one of the teams we mentioned with them. When we're talking about where could Lamar Jackson potentially land in this draft, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Saints, we thought were doing it. They didn't do it. And the Patriots. So we're getting ready to come up on a bunch of these teams right here.
Well, which one do you think is most likely?
For Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
I just think that New England and Bill Belichick are so far outside the box, they have to consider it, and I think Bill Belichick would have a plan for that kid that would make a ton of sense.
That'll be fascinating. In the meantime, let's get the Bengals pick from the commissioner.
With the 21st pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Billy Price, center, Ohio State.
All right, so back-to-back centers go off the board here.
And Price can play all three interior offensive line positions. It's a great pick because they traded for Cordy Glenn. The left side solid. After that, they're hurting up front. That gives them a starting center with the capability of playing either guard.
So 2 Ohio State players have been taken in the first round. 1 to Cleveland, 1 to Cincinnati. Raiders got the 79th overall pick from Arizona tonight to allow Arizona to move up and acquire Josh Rosen. They took that pick from Arizona and handed it to Pittsburgh for Martavis Bryant to now run routes for John Gruden. And so that cleans that piece of housekeeping up. The Tennessee Titans just moved up and got a 6th round selection from Baltimore, who moved 3 spots down and improved their 6th round pick into a 4th round selection.
Yep.
So they're amassing some picks, and Baltimore has now moved down twice tonight. They originally moved down so the Bills could come up and take Tremaine Edmonds earlier tonight. So the Titans are about to have a pick. New England is 1 minute into being on the clock for the first of 2 times tonight. What do you think the Titans coming up to go get, Mike?
I think the most logical guy is the last, quote, first-round edge guy in this draft, and that's Harold Landry from Boston College. Keep in mind, their 2 edge guys, they play a 34 base. It's an outside linebacker position with Arakpo and Morgan. Both of them are in their 30s. Both are in contract years. Now, on top of that, at linebacker, they've got a need. Rashaan Evans or even wide receiver Calvin Ridley. I think they're the 3.
With the 22nd pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Rashaan Evans, linebacker, Alabama.
So Evans is a 1-year starter at Alabama. I give him credit. He hung in there. 14 and 15, he didn't play much. 16, he had some injuries during the season. Came out this year as a 1-year starter. Battled through a hernia injury early in the year. His tape is outstanding. Well coached, has production coming off the edge on 3rd down, even though I don't think that's what he's going to be at this level. But keep in mind with Tennessee what they have at linebacker. Wesley Woodyard, 32 years old. They signed Will Compton from Washington, and Jayon Brown is more of a dime guy, so he's a starter day 1.
So the New England Patriots are now 2.5 minutes into being on the clock. This is the pick they acquired from the Rams in exchange for Brandon Cooks, and former Patriot Mike Vrabel now has a piece to the defense hopping in front of the Patriots to go get. And the draft party in Nashville, Tennessee likes the pick. It's been a fun night so far. The New England Patriots are on the clock right now, 5 and change. And it's been an interesting offseason, obviously, with Malcolm Butler and Dion Lewis both winding up with Mike Vrabel and the Titans. Nate Solder is now protecting Eli. That was one of the biggest pieces the Giants have added, or anybody's added in free agency. Danny Amendola left for Miami, and Brandon Cooks traded to Los Angeles. Rob Gronkowski's not going anywhere. This very week, he met with Bill Belichick and then announced he is staying put active in New England. Mike, what do you think's going on up there in the home of the defending AFC champs?
I'm not sure anybody knows except them. First of all, I think we have to throw Lamar Jackson's name out there at some point with New England, just because Bill's an outside-the-box thinker with a 41-year-old quarterback. The way I look at this, they could go corner. Mike Evans would be a logical player right here. There are several interior offensive linemen, including James Daniels, who plays at Iowa. And trust me, Bill Belichick trusts Iowa players because Kirk Ferentz used to coach for him. DJ and David, what do you think?
I think guard makes a lot of sense, but you look at the way they played defense last year, to add another pass rush, add another corner, to add another linebacker, just to have more athleticism on that defensive side makes a lot of sense to me.
To me, Mike Hughes, the corner, is the best player available right now, and it does fit a need here for the New England Patriots. I think that makes a lot of sense, the corner out of Central Florida. What do you think, Mooch?
Butler's not there anymore, so the corner Mike Hughes or a Josh Jackson type guy, I don't think they're going to address the quarterback thing here in the first round. I think they're going to wait. Maybe it's a Lamar Jackson later on, or a Mason Rudolph, or a Kyle Laletta, or a Luke Falk, but I don't think it's right now. They have other team needs, whether it's in the offensive line or at corner. Troy?
Yeah, I just don't see Bill Belichick going with a quarterback right here in Lamar Jackson, but like Mike Mayock said, you never can really bet against what Belichick might do. He might be able to use him in some other positions, even though he wants to be a quarterback. I understand that. I think they lose Nate Solder. They could very well go with Connor Williams out of Texas at the tackle position. And I agree, their pass defense last year really struggled. They did pick up McCourty this past offseason. Mike Hughes, I think, at corner would be a great pick for him.
I agree with you, Mike Hughes, but you also have Will Hernandez. You just have a lot of guys available, and you never know what the New England Patriots are going to do. They always can shock you. They can go traditional, and then they go out of the box. But you know Bill Belichick will have his guy that he really wants and will never let you know what he's doing until he makes the pick.
I know, and they've got a good idea right now, but we don't at pick 23 and 31 for the Patriots. Ian Rappaport, your thoughts?
Mooch, the Patriots could go in a couple different directions here. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson. I am told he visited pretty secretly with the Patriots early in the process. Then they flew out and worked him out. The reviews were positive. I'm told they were intrigued. And when I talked to defensive coordinators around the league, they thought it would be the most Belichick move ever, taking a look from the college game here. The only other thing is, Rich, as I sent it to you, they did lose Nate Solder in the offseason. That is a huge hole to fill.
No, I know a lot of mock drafts had the Patriots, again, hoping that, I guess, Colton Miller would fall down to this spot, but the Raiders took him 15th overall after moving down from 10 to 15.
Prevailing opinion is there's 2 first-round tackles. McGlinchey went 9. Colton Miller went 15 earlier than people anticipated. You could talk about a left tackle as Connor Williams.
Connor Williams is the one still hanging out there.
A lot of people think Connor Williams is a guard, but with a quick set and the way he plays, he could play tackle with New England.
I remember a tackle at Fresno State they drafted and kicked inside the guard, and Logan Mankins. It worked out pretty good. Maybe that's what they do here.
All right, the pick is in. Carolina is now on the clock, and then we're assuming Baltimore's going to choose. They've already traded down twice tonight with the Falcons behind them, and then somebody's eventually going to have to cash in the 27th overall pick, which was belonging to the Saints, then the Packers, now the Seahawks.
Lost track of that about 2 trades ago, Rich.
You know what? That's what you got me here for, sir. You know, I'm your eye in that sky here on our draft coverage on NFL Network and on Fox. It's time for the New England Patriots' first of 2 picks tonight. This is the one, again, that belonged to the Los Angeles Rams. They traded it to New England to get Brandon Cooks into that high-flying offense. I mean, the Rams making a ton of moves with Ndamukong Suh and Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib. And all. We're not going to talk about the Rams tonight very much, other than what I just said, because they don't have a first-round selection, and then
or a second-round.
Or a second.
They gave the coaching staff off today.
Did they really do that?
they offered it to them.
Okay.
They're probably all in the building working though.
All right, here we go. Here comes the commissioner with pick 23. Carolina already 90 seconds into pick 24.
With the 23rd pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Isaiah Wynn, tackle, Georgia.
Wow.
They said tackle, Mike.
Yeah.
They didn't say guard. They said tackle.
They announced him as a tackle. Most of the league looks at him as a guard, but he fits what Dante Scarnecchia, the offensive line coach at New England Patriots, looks for. He's under 6'3". He's a left tackle conversion for most of the league. However, in New England, he might be a left tackle. He pops out of his stance. He fits a zone scheme. And trust me, Dante Scarnecchia will get this kid. He's one of the best quick set pass protection guys I've seen in college football in years.
All right. So the fans there in New England.
All right, pick number 24, guys. The Carolina Panthers are on the clock, and you know what? They're 28th in passing offense and 18th in pass defense. Those are their two weaknesses that they need to address in some way. Guys, do they go with a corner like a Mike Hughes, or do they go with one of those receivers? All the receivers are available, Steve.
I mean, Mike Hughes is a great pick, but I don't believe that they're gonna get a wide receiver. They have to get a wide receiver. You don't let Calvin Ridley and DJ Moore pass. You don't pass those two guys up. I believe that the next two picks will be wide receivers. They can shock me with a corner, but I doubt it because these guys, DJ Moore, what he brings to the table, he's catching unbelievable passes. He's done that with a backup quarterback and then a backup quarterback, and he's put up great numbers.
So you think your next two picks are your last two teams, huh? The Panthers and Baltimore, both receivers?
Yes.
Hey, well, you look at this and you see what's happened with the Carolina Panthers, and they trade Kelvin Benjamin last year in the middle of the season. Devin Funchess becomes their go-to guy. They've got some young players that are talented, but they're inexperienced. They go out this offseason, they pick up Torrey Smith, they got some threat down the field, and then, of course, Julius Wright, who's a slot receiver. Norv Turner has taken over as the offensive coordinator. They're getting ready to implement a passing game unlike anything Cam Newton has seen so far in his career. I would be shocked if they don't take a wide receiver here. I like DJ Moore. Could be Calvin Ridley, but I think it's going to be a wide receiver.
I do too, and I think Norv Turner needs another receiver in that passing game for weapons for Cam Newton. Guys, take it away inside, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, Troy and Mooch are definitely our Norv whisperers. There's no doubt about that. They know him very well. The Mike Mayock Top 100 Best Available presented by Bud Light. James Daniels is atop that board right now, with Harold Landry behind him, and then Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I agree with Steve. I think we're going to see one or two wide receivers right here.
With the 24th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select DJ Moore, wide receiver, Maryland.
DJ Moore's way, who leaps up and makes the grab.
The 2017 Big Ten Richter Howard Receiver of the Year, DJ Moore, wide receiver.
So there you go. It still takes a lot for me to get used to hear Maryland referred to as Big Ten. But there he is at home, presented by Oikos 000. DJ Moore is now going to join Devin Funchess and the re-signed Greg Olsen and Christian McCaffrey, and obviously Cam Newton quarterbacked offense with Norv Turner coordinating it in Carolina.
He actually had 8 quarterbacks in his 3 years there, including 3 this year, and still caught 80 passes for over 1,000 yards. I love his run after catch. I love his toughness. I really like, and Steve Smith, you and I both have him #1 on our wide receiver board. Tell us why.
He's on your wide receiver board #1 because he's a playmaker. You said that he's a little bit raw. I disagree. I think he can run every route on the route tree, a PhD in route running. He can line up in the slot. He can line up outside. He's elusive. He'll run through you. He'll run around you, and he'll run away from you. If you really want to know the truth of how I feel, they have never been able to replace me until today. DJ Moore will be at that organization for a long time, and I look forward to talking about him on the network.
Wow, well said.
You should drop the mic after that. Oh, he did. He just placed it down. Just placed the microphone down after that one. Steve Smith is going to be on the show tomorrow. We'll talk about how he gently put the microphone down instead of.
That's pretty cool.
Instead of dropping it right there.
Pretty cool.
So the Ravens are. I mean, they need a receiver. There's one from Alabama. This is Ozzie Newsome's final first-round draft choice as a general manager. I mean, does this have Calvin Ridley written all over it?
It really
Coach?
could. We've talked about this. This could also be Lamar Jackson. With Ozzie's last pick, maybe he picks the quarterback of the future, or he takes that receiver from Alabama.
I agree. There are two names I had on my head, David. Exact same two.
I keep an eye on tight end too. I think they were smart. If it is a tight end, they were smart because they didn't need to take him where they were initially picking. So to trade back, get some extra picks, get some value if they do choose to go in that direction, they'll have their choice of the tight ends.
Which one do you like?
For me, it's Hayden Hurst from South Carolina. I don't know where you are on that one, Mike.
At tight end, I've got Hayden Hurst as #1 tight end. I still think it probably will be Ridley, though. My gut.
Okay, so again, Lamar Jackson in his green jacket. It's good stuff. In the green room. Still, Ian Rappaport, what can you tell us about his evening this evening and when it might end coming out of the green room?
Rich, first of all, you guys may have been on the money with the Ravens. One of their plans going into the draft was to trade back and take a tight end. So we'll see if that's what they end up doing. But it is a potential landing spot for Lamar Jackson. They were having these conversations. Baltimore was, what would our offense look like with Lamar Jackson? What would we have to change? Which is basically everything. A couple other possible landing spots. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who have Blake Bortles just on a short deal. I'm told they have a little bit of interest. And then, of course, there is the Patriots, who did visit with him twice. They're still lurking at 31.
All right, Ian, appreciate that. The pick is in. Atlanta is now on the clock, a minute into that pick right there. There's Mike Mayock's top 100 best available, presented by Bud Light. Okay, so the commissioner's going to come out. The Ravens, again, initially started at 16th overall and then traded down so the Bills could come up and take Tremaine Edmonds, and then they traded down again so the Titans could come up and take Rashaan Evans. So this pick belonged to the Titans. It's now 25th overall. And it's time to get the latest Baltimore Raven pick. Again, what an incredible general managing career for Ozzie Newsome. His final first-round selection in B-City.
With the 25th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Hayden Hurst.
There you go,
tight
DJ.
End, South Carolina.
Smart pick, DJ.
Smart way to maneuver around the board, right, Mike?
Yeah, that's classic Ozzie and Eric DeCosta, moving down twice, get the guy for the right value, 6'4.5", 250 from South Carolina. He was a Pirates pitcher, got the yips, all of a sudden became a football player, natural hand snatcher. You can see it from his baseball ability. Willing competitor in the run game, and I think that's important in Baltimore, that you've got to commit to run block also. So he can play outside, use his body, pivot to get away from a safety, catches the ball really easily and naturally. Coming down on a little RPO in the open field. Now look, he's an athlete, folks. He ran 4.67, but I think he plays faster. They even hand him the football on the end around. Drops to pad level and finishes. And there it is with the cut block. He is a willing participant in the run game, and that's why the Ravens like him. By the way, do you guys remember, I know you do, Ozzie Newsome's first 2 picks as a GM when they went from Cleveland to Baltimore?
Yeah. Ray Lewis, Jonathan Ogden, not bad.
2 Hall of Fame players with his first 2 picks in his first draft in 1996.
And to finish it up with a tight end is kind of perfect there.
Pretty cool.
For Ozzie. But this interesting story here with Hayden Hurst with the baseball background. I know in talking to the coaches, you see him here pitching in high school, letting it rip. I talked to the strength coach at South Carolina. He said when they got there, they wondered how tough this guy is going to be. He's a baseball player. He said he proved himself immediately to the point where they had to give him a key to the weight room. So this was not just a typical baseball player. He was out there grinding and working hard. And you see right there in the Pirates uniform, Rich.
That's a throwback Thursday here on Draft Night Thursday.
And I would say this, Mike said something earlier that I think is really, really important here. You talked about today's NFL. In today's NFL, it's all about matchups. And here's a guy that can line up in the slot. He's kind of a big receiver. He's got great feet for his size. He can win matchups against smaller nickels and safeties. And you can see his run after catchability as well. I think this guy is a potential game changer on those third down and intermediates where you have to find a guy and you got a big, tall quarterback in there that can work the pocket. This is a big pick for the Ravens.
So unless somebody comes from the second round from tomorrow night to come up tonight to select Lamar Jackson, the Falcons on the clock are not going to be that team. And then the Seahawks after that, not going to be that team. Then the Steelers after them, not going to be that team. I don't think. Do you? Is there like an outside shot here?
I'd say outside. There's been some conversation what they could do with that type of quarterback and how long will Ben be around. But I would call it a very much an outside shot. Ian talked about
the Jaguars,
Jackson, which makes some sense.
At 29, the Vikings are not going to be that team. And there's the Patriots, and then obviously the Eagles sitting at 32, not going to be that team. But that is the spot where somebody might want to come back in and get that 5th year of contractual control that comes with the first-round selection.
The Eagles want out at 32.
Yeah,
that
they
pick's
do.
For sale. So.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Steve Mariucci, you have the floor.
Well, look at that guy all dressed up in that green. He's having a good time back there, hoping he gets picked today. Very capable quarterback. He can run like a deer. What I see is this kid is very coachable. He has improved each year. He's learning how to play from the pocket. If that's where an athletic quarterback needs to improve, he's done that. He will take another step next year. And so, Steve, where do you think this guy could fit? I don't know if he gets by 31 with the New England Patriots or not, if they want to go in a direction like that. But certainly, sometime soon, this guy's going to be taken off the board.
Well, Lamar Jackson has done a great job of improving year in and year out. And he's just going to continue to improve. He reminds me of Deshaun Watson. He's a guy that just gets better week in and week out. So I believe whoever gets him will get a guy who understands how to learn, and he will improve and get better. And here comes the pick.
You know, and Deshaun Watson was the runner-up when Lamar Jackson won the Heisman Trophy. And we just saw what Deshaun Watson was able to do in this league last year. So a little bit of a mystery in a way why Lamar Jackson is still sitting in that room. Let's get the Falcons pick.
With the 26th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Calvin Ridley, wide receiver, Alabama.
Downfield to Ridley.
Calvin Ridley, wide receiver.
Ridley's playing with turbo speed.
A 2017 first team All-SEC selection.
At home with Calvin Ridley in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Presented by Oikos 000, overcoming with emotion right here. What a neat moment where the Falcons rise up. Pat, his whole family, dream being realized. That's awesome. And we would say, we return to Twitter to see what Julio Jones thinks about an Alabama Crimson Tide receiver joining him, but we all know he's kind of changed his social media strategy over the last 48 hours.
He's familiar playing in that Falcon Stadium, too. SEC championship
game,
national championship
That's
game.
right. Look at him. Oh, look at he's crying. This is awesome.
And his brother's
Fantastic.
at the University of Georgia.
And he joins a heck of an offense. Just an absolute brilliant offense in Atlanta. And his old offensive coordinator for a hot minute, right, is there. And Steve Sarkisian coordinating the offense.
And understand, they went from the #1 scoring team in the league in 16 to the number 15 team last year. They lost 11 points per game on offense.
Yes.
And they also lost Taylor Gabriel, the wide receiver who was their vertical threat. He steps in day one and takes some pressure off of Julio Jones.
All right, no wide receivers going the first 23 picks, and then 2 out of the last 3 have been wide receivers. NFL Total Access when we are done. The Seattle Seahawks are on the clock when we come back. Is now in San Francisco. I mean, the Legion of Boom is now just the Legion of Earl right now. And we all know that Earl Thomas famously knocked on the home team door when these two teams played each other, saying, hey, come get me, because, you know, he's a Longhorn, and he made it be known that maybe he would like to finish his career here. And Pete Carroll basically said Earl Thomas is on our team, and he's going to stay put. But it's just interesting times, to say the least, in the Pacific Northwest right now, Mike.
It's interesting. They move from 18 to 27, pick up extra picks, but still have the same players available to them. They either have to go edge or corner, in my opinion. The last remaining first-round value at edge is Harold Landry. If they want to go corner, there's some interesting conversations out there. Mike Hughes, Josh Jackson, who a lot of people want to compare to Richard Sherman, or Isaiah Oliver from Colorado. So, DJ, I think it's got to be one of those 4 guys.
Isaiah Oliver gives you that size, but also has the explosiveness. That's where I think that could be him over Josh Jackson. But the interesting thing with Josh Jackson, the comparison all along with him was your guy, Richard Sherman.
There's no question. And Richard wasn't the fastest guy, but he was long, he was physical, and can play in that style, staying high and outside, be ready to drive down and make big tackles.
Right.
That guy could be a perfect fit.
On the Honda War Room cam, we took a look at it. If we could show it up one more time, if you have it, there's Pete Carroll and John Schneider and the owner, Paul Allen, in the draft room. I don't recall seeing Paul Allen in the draft room very often when we've seen him on draft night.
Well, he doesn't need to be there tomorrow because they don't have a second or third, or did they just get one for the trade back, right?
I think they got a third.
They got a third,
yeah,
right?
So I guess he'll be somewhere else, but maybe he'll be off on a gig or something like that, playing his guitar. So the Steelers are now on the clock, 9 minutes until their pick, and it's going to be a really special pick when it's announced here in the draft hall. So do not leave your sets. Just going to throw that one out there right now. So the Seattle Seahawks pick is in, and then the Steelers are up. I'll just give you the floor and wherever you want to go on this conversation.
On the Steelers or on Seattle?
You name it. What do you want to do?
Well, I mean, from a Seattle perspective, just to finish it up, remember Cliff Avrill's 32 coming off a neck. Nobody knows whether he's going to play or not. And Frank Clark, who had 9 sacks last year, he's in a contract year. So Harold Landry could be in play. Regarding Pittsburgh, DJ and Coach, I gave him a running back in my mock draft just because of the whole situation with Le'Veon Bell.
And there are some good backs available.
Interesting.
With the 27th pick in the 2018 draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Rashad Penny, running back, San Diego State.
Okay.
How about that? Think he's going defense, they go offense. The premier kick returner and the full-time 3-down back, Rashad Penny. He was the Mountain West Offensive and Special Teams Player of the Year. 8 kick return touchdown. I hate to say this, Coach, but his Stanford tape was outstanding.
I saw it firsthand. The guy is big, he's physical, he breaks tackles. He doesn't have the high-level speed that our top pick had, but this guy's special.
Yeah, and I call him a weaver. He's not a big make-your-miss guy, but at 220 pounds, he weaves. He makes that safety miss right there very easily. And then when you get him in the return game, I would say outside of Saquon Barkley, he's the best kickoff return guy in the country. 8 return touchdowns. He went to Mobile, Alabama, and I thought had an outstanding practice week. Finished it off with a big game. It's a little surprising he went that early, but if you look at Seattle and their recent history at the running back position, he brings some stability and can play all 3 downs.
All right, 6 more picks, and after that's all done and in the books, we'll send things over to NFL Total Access on NFL Network to review night 1 and get you set for night number 2 here in the Metroplex. It is that time of night, Ian Rappaport, for teams to trade back into the first round. Who do you hear is trying to do exactly that?
I'll give you 2 big ones, Rich. First of all, the Oakland Raiders, who have moved around a little bit earlier in this draft. They are a team that's trying to come up from 2 into 1. And then the Chicago Bears would have to make a big leap. They're another team, Rich, trying to come all the way up.
All right, Ian Rappaport, the Pittsburgh Steelers are about to make their pick. And what we're about to see for the pick announcement, there's only one way to put it. It is inspirational, it is something else, and it is a sight for sore eyes.
We have a very special moment to make the announcement of the Pittsburgh Steelers selection. We are honored to have with us an extraordinary man who continues to amaze us with his unyielding determination and his unwavering spirit. We are so proud of him, and he inspires us all. Please welcome, joined by his fiancée Michelle, Ryan Shazier.
With the 28th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Terrell Edmonds.
So Ryan Shazier walks out and welcomes into the mix to the defense in Pittsburgh Terrell Edmonds, who, as we all know, is the first time in the NFL draft history that brothers are taken in the same first round. His brother Tremaine was taken by the Bills 16th overall. And now it is Terrell Edmonds taken 28th overall, as announced by Ryan Shazier. That was an awesome moment.
I got chill bumps watching Ryan Shazier walk out there with his fiance, considering where he's coming from. Wow. And then the second piece of it is the Edmonds brothers. DJ, you and I looked at each other.
Yeah, surprising.
And let me tell you something about the Edmonds family. Their father played in the NFL. There's a former NFL coach by the name of Doug Graber who helps coach defensive backs in the Pensacola camp prior to the combine. So he worked with this young man. And when I talked to Coach Graber about him, he said, Mike, these two kids, these two brothers, are two of the nicest, most respectful kids I've ever met. Look at that.
And there goes Ryan Shazier walking off the stage here in Dallas. And on the Honda War Room cam, that was the Steelers watching Ryan announce the pick that they phoned in here. And moments ago, Odell Beckham throwing that out, tweet in the direction of Ryan Shazier. Wow. Yeah. We're with you. We are with you. Quite a surprise. Yeah, the Steelers fans are stunned. Steelers fans here, the season ticket holders that got the chance to get the 50 seats allotted to them. Wow. Yeah, they can't.
Hey, guys,
it's so emotional. Prime, take it away. Welcoming Terrell Edmonds.
It's hard. That just tore me apart, guys. I apologize. I'm trying to be professional, but that got me.
Yes, sir.
God, praying for that gentleman. How special was that for you?
That was amazing, man. Just seeing a fantastic player like himself just actually calling my name, that was a blessing, honestly.
How excited are you in this moment?
I'm very excited. I'm ready to get things rolling, and I'm just blessed with this opportunity.
Man, I'm proud of you, man. You're looking good, too, by the way.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
God bless you. Back to you guys, Rich.
He's a very physical football player. Look at the size, 6 feet, 217 pounds. Played him a lot in the box. Could almost play dime linebacker. Big and explosive athlete, box safety, dime linebacker. I think the key here is he can match tight ends. The Pittsburgh Steelers were looking for another safety, and you can see him just how physical he is at the point of attack. Finds the football, rips it out of the wide receiver's hands. Again, opens his hips, drives on the ball in zone coverage. Can you imagine those two brothers playing on the same defense? And as I told you, Coach Graber could not say enough nice things about the family, about how respectful and hardworking those two young men were. And when you see that on the heels of Ryan Shazier, you kind of get a little choked up.
There it is. Football is family indeed. Not just because we saw the very first round tonight of brothers drafted in the first round of the same draft, but we also saw Ryan Shazier come out with his fiance, surrounded by his family backstage, walk out the pick.
How about the determination on his face?
Sure.
When he was walking
to get out there.
That was unbelievable. And you know, we talked the other day, the Pittsburgh Steelers, so often when they pick somebody, we look back and say, yep, that makes perfect sense. You see a big, physical, long safety that can cover. Absolutely, of course he's going to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And by the way, the Bills and Steelers do not play each other this year. Those are the 2 teams that drafted the Edmonds brothers, but they are scheduled to play in 2019. Meanwhile, the team that eliminated the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs last year, what an incredible run the Jacksonville Jaguars made to the AFC Championship game and darn near made the Super Bowl last year. Their pick is about to be announced. What do you think?
We've seen some of these veteran quarterbacks dodge the heir apparent. We saw it all the way up there with Eli Manning. We saw it with Drew Brees.
Right.
Is Blake Bortles going to be able to dodge it?
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, exactly. Another one.
And obviously,
here we go.
You know, the question is Bortles about to?
With the 29th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Taven Bryan, defensive tackle, Florida.
Okay, so
they are so good up front.
Gator.
Rich, they are so good up front. You start talking about Ngakoue, Malik Jackson, Calais Campbell. I mean, they've got to make a decision on Dante Fowler and his contract. This young man's a 1-year starter at Florida. Explosive, freakish athlete, ran 4.9 at almost 300 pounds. The 1-year starter worries some people. 6'5", 291. Combine workout was absolutely outstanding. 1-year wonder, high ceiling. He had Gerald McCoy measurables at the combine, but didn't have the same production coming out. He's a one gap and go, get up the field, defensive tackle. A natural 3 technique. You see that get off, coach? Pretty special. Now, part of the problem was in this game right here against Florida State, even though that's tremendous get off right there, I counted him on the ground 13 times against Florida State. So I thought I watched 4 tapes. 3 of them were outstanding. 1 of them was not. But his upside is through the roof. Watch him control the guard, eyes on the football, enough quickness to tackle Chubb. If he's well coached and gets in the right defensive line room where they force him to work hard, this kid's got a chance to be very special.
We talk so much about fit. You look at who this guy's going to be playing with. Look at that. They're going to be on him. Hey, you just do your job. We'll handle everything else. This guy can get off the ball. He's fast. He's explosive. He can make plays. He catches your eye because he's so big and gets off the ball quicker than anybody.
We talked about it a little earlier, too. This is the Eagles effect. Seeing that waves of defensive linemen they threw at you last year. You can't have too many of them up front. Jacksonville, as dominant as they were on defense, they add another piece like this one. I mean, this is going to be a defense absolutely nobody wants to see next.
It's scary. It's really scary.
Yeah. And then there's that alpha male and Jalen Ramsey on the back end.
Oh.
A.J. Bouye on the back end. Right? I mean, wow.
I did their wild card game against Buffalo, and it was just like Buffalo could play for a week and a half and not score 21 points against that defense.
Yeah. And you did the radio call. I was listening to you, and I was so thrilled because you were watching punting at its finest.
Dude, punters are people
game.
too.
Darn straight,
And on
sir.
day 3, we're going to talk about a couple of them. Yeah, man. They're going to be 2 or 3 punters go.
Hey, but let's be honest here. If this team was named the New England Patriots, they'd be the favorites to make the Super Bowl and win it.
No question.
But the Jacksonville Jaguars, nobody really talks about them all that.
And a lot of people's
How
minds,
good is this
though,
team?
And there are a lot of people's minds. That's the scuttlebutt you hear. These guys are so good on defense. Now they add another piece like that. And you see what they do the rest of the draft. They're in attack mode the entire game.
And they up the degree of difficulty because they've been picking in the top 5 for a million years. Now they got to go down to the bottom of the first round and live a little differently.
I like what the curmudgeon Tom Coughlin did. He came in there, and I say that very kind because I love Tom Coughlin, but he came in and he and Coach Marone changed how they play football down. Physical, tough, they practiced hard. It was really fun watching them run the football, stick it right up people's throats, and play great defense.
And by the way, Jacksonville opens week 1 at the Giants. Saquon Barkley will be running into that defense in his first pro game. Now here's the Vikings that made the NFC Championship game as well.
With the 30th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Mike Hughes, defensive back, University of Central Florida.
Okay.
Goes deep again. The coverage is intercepted.
a 2017 first-team All-AAC selection. Mike Hughes, cornerback.
You like this move? It's a Mike Zimmer pick here, right?
Yeah, I like it a lot. They've already got Trey Wayans, a first-round pick at one corner. Xavier Rhodes is turning into one of the best in the league at another corner. But the nickel, Mackenzie Alexander, has not played great football, and I think this kid could come inside and compete day one. He's a competitor, DJ, you and I were talking about.
Everybody stay tuned now. Immediately after the draft, Total Access right here on NFL Network. We'll recap this draft. Here we are in Dallas, Texas. Now Troy Aikman. Lamar Jackson, we're going to talk about him again, okay? We got 2 more picks in this round. The New England Patriots pick number 31. Philadelphia Eagles pick 32. Which teams, first of all, why is he dropping like this? And which teams might come up and take him?
Well, let me just say, when I was studying him, I thought he was a day 2 guy. So I'm not surprised that he hasn't been taken off the board just yet. But I think a couple things hurt him, to be honest with you. He didn't time in the 40 at the combine. He didn't time in the 40 on his pro day. And I felt that when you're going into your pro day, you play to your strengths. And his strengths is his ability to run. He runs real fast. So I thought that maybe hurt him a little bit. The other thing is that he was going to be a guy who was going to sit back and learn. And because of his athletic ability and what he's able to do, would he have been willing to help a team, with the ball in his hands? He's a home run threat every time. And maybe teams didn't feel that he'd be able to do that. And maybe that's what made him slide as well. I want to make one other point on Baker Mayfield. He's the one who obviously has surprised some people going as the #1 pick. What we didn't address was his height. We haven't seen many guys at 6'1" or under that have had success, but I just want to say that I've always felt that height was vastly overrated at the quarterback positions. We've certainly seen a lot of different styles of quarterbacks come into the league and have success. At 6'4", I had problems at times seeing over offensive linemen. His left tackle at Oklahoma was 6'8". I don't think height is going to be a factor in this whatsoever, and as I said at the time of the pick, I think he's going to be outstanding.
Well, I agree with you. Height as a quarterback and a wide receiver is overrated. You don't have to think about it.
That's right.
But Lamar Jackson, I love the fact that he didn't run, because that means he doesn't want to go into the system saying he's not a quarterback. He is a quarterback.
All right, well, height as a quarterback, as a coach, is overrated. Let's go to the pick. Here's the commission.
With the 31st pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Sony Michel.
There you go.
Running back, Georgia.
Okay. So in an offensive system that lost Dion Lewis and has had obviously James White, Rex Burkhead, we've seen how they use running backs like matchup nightmares. This is one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he averaged 7 yards against Bama. He reminds me, when they hand the ball to him, of Alvin Kamara. He's a violent runner, even though he's a make-you-miss guy. Look at the jump cut there. Another cut the opposite way, now north and south. And look at that one. That's 3 in a row, and then the stiff arm. Look at him run through. He's more powerful than people think. So look at the hole. Now you've got a linebacker and a safety with an angle on him. I'm going to outrun that one. I'm going to outrun that one. I think with his ball in the hand, look at how tough he is. Vanderbilt, 4, 5, 6 guys. With the ball in his hands, I think he's as talented as Kamara. This is the part of the game where I don't think he's quite as advanced. I'm not saying he doesn't have good hands. I just don't think he's done as much pass receiving as Kamara has. But he's got an opportunity with Tom Brady in that offense to be special early.
Well, they go Bulldog with their 2 first-round selections tonight, Isaiah Wynn and Sony Michel, who now joins Jeremy Hill. That's right, I forgot that the Patriots signed. I mean, they're just going right down the Bengals depth charts in the last couple of years. Burkhead, Jeremy Hill, I guess Gio Bernard maybe next year will have a nice spot, nice landing.
But when you watch the Patriots play on offense, though, they play multiple backs. Yes. They have a role for every single one. One guy's a third down guy, one guy's a protector, one guy's a pass receiver that they flex out. They flex their backs out a lot to do a lot of different things, and sometimes they just have a guy they're going to turn around and hand the ball to, and this might be that guy.
So with 5 minutes left on the clock for the Philadelphia Eagles, they're either going to make this pick or they're fielding a ton of phone calls right now for teams that want to get into the first round and take who they want. And make sure that they get that in their back pocket before tomorrow, and also get a 5th year of contractual control. So it's time now to ask who's tonight's best choice, presented by Golden Corral. And I guess the Eagles will have to have the soft landing in a way of their championship to not be included in this possibility here, Mike. But what do you got for me?
Well, you know, we take a lot of shots over the years at the Jets, but they traded up from 6 to 3. They gave up 2 second rounds this year and a second round next year, but none of that will matter if this young man can play. And remember, when they made the move up, they didn't know if they were going to get their first quarterback, their second quarterback, or their third quarterback. I would advance my own opinion that they ended up with their number 1 guy at number 3.
Okay, so we were talking about how somebody wants to trade back in, get contractual control, 5th year. Maybe it's for a quarterback, maybe it's not. The Eagles wanted to get out. That just happened.
Yeah.
And it's the Ravens who are now on the clock. Is this, do you think, for Lamar Jackson?
Makes sense.
I would jump up and down if this is who it is. And again, I said earlier in the night in my mock draft, I gave them the Baltimore because I think they have the infrastructure in place. They've got a backup quarterback named RG3, Robert Griffin III, who can play in that same system. Joe Flacco, since the Super Bowl win, has not played up to the level of his salary, and they can dump his contract next year. So a lot of things line up, a lot of dots connect. I'm hoping this is the Ravens going back up to get Lamar Jackson.
Well, you and I talked about this earlier on your show.
Yes, sir.
The X factor to me is Greg Roman.
Right.
Greg Roman, who's a run game coordinator, offensive coordinator at the San Francisco 49ers for Colin Kaepernick. Very, very similar run scheme. Very similar success with an athletic quarterback, both run and pass, and a guy that wasn't a great drop back passer. But what they did, you remember the 200 yards rushing against the Green Bay Packers and all those big runs that Colin had, and those big explosive pass games that he had with all those people stepping up to play the run. This could be a good fit.
That's an excellent point, especially because you snuck in a promo for the Rich Eisen show from 12 to 3 Eastern on Fox Sports Radio.
Got your back, man. Got your back.
How about a legacy
TV
pick?
show, huh?
How about a legacy pick for Ozzie Newsome in his final first-round pick?
I guess, yeah. Here I said it was his last first-round pick. Who knew?
If Flacco was able to dodge one quarterback at one pick, can he do it twice?
Okay, final pick of the first round. It is the Ravens trading up. Is it for Lamar Jackson, which would signal quite a shift at that quarterback position in Baltimore?
The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the 32nd pick to the Baltimore Ravens. With the 32nd pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Lamar Jackson.
There it is.
Wow. Quarterback, Louisville.
Okay.
Listen to this place go crazy right now.
There he is, the Heisman Trophy winner from a couple years ago. Michael Irvin giving him a nice hug, coming on out. I proffer to say, I look at researcher Bill Smith, this has to be the only first round in NFL draft history where the first pick of the night is a Heisman Trophy winner, and so is the last. Started with Baker Mayfield, and it finishes with Lamar Jackson going to the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm glad we've got two guys who have been in the draft room with Ozzie Newsome, Steve Bisciotti. What does this signal to you, Daniel Jeremiah?
They're going in a whole new direction. And Ozzie Newsome, even though this is his last draft, he's trying to get ahead of the curve, something he's done throughout his career as general manager of the Ravens. Be ahead of trends, Mike, and I think you're going to see this. It's a risk. It's a gamble, no question.
Well,
but they're going for it.
We talk about an electrifying upside, a little bit raw in the pass game, but the first time I threw the tape on with the whippy arm and the unbelievable skill and speed, I thought Michael Vick. And, Coach, I agree. It's a commitment philosophically and schematically to a completely different type of football, and that whole building has to embrace it.
There's at some point, this guy might be the NFL Player of the Week. At some point this year, he's going to have one of those breakout games, no question.
All right, well, welcome to Prime Time, delivered by Pizza Hut. Prime, the floor is yours.
I can see it in your eyes. I can see you a little bit upset, a little deterred. But guess what?
I'm here.
It's here. You're here.
I'm a Raven. It's on. All year, every year. Yes, sir.
What could you have done differently that you could have gotten out of that room quicker and got drafted earlier in your career?
Nothing. I'm happy to be a Raven. It don't even matter.
Yesterday does not matter. You're looking forward to today.
I'm looking forward to being a Raven.
What are they getting?
everything out of me. They're going to get a Super Bowl out of me. Believe that.
Yeah.
Believe that.
Ozzie, man, I love you, man. Ozzie, you know I love you. I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
God bless you, Ozzie.
Yes, sir.
I can't wait to see you get down, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, Benjamin Watson loves it. And he says, way to go, Ozzie. So Lamar Jackson finishes the night, Mike.
This is the most exciting and spectacular player in this draft. Now, in the pass game, when it's his first read, he's pretty good. Okay, he can throw with touch and accuracy. Little bootleg, comes off it, make you miss. Now set and throw. Eyes up, beats you down the field. Look where this ball drops in. There's ability there. In the pass game, he's a little behind where Deshaun Watson was a year ago. The first look, resets his feet. Now watch. Are you kidding me? You can't even describe that. That's so easy. And he's going to do it at the next level. Now, there's a Boston College defender right in there, and he doesn't see it. There's times where he stares things down. He doesn't see underneath coverage. He struggles in the pocket when that first look isn't there. But I said the same thing about Deshaun Watson a year ago, okay? Bill O'Brien did a phenomenal job with them last year. He became the most spectacular player in the league. And Troy, I know he's got a long way to go in the pass game. I get it, but he doesn't necessarily have to play immediately. And they're going to commit to him philosophically. What's your take on this whole move?
I think he's obviously a terrific talent. He's got a lot of ability, and his passing game did improve as he moved through the last few seasons, and he threw the ball overall fairly well, the best that he had. I think if you look at him, he's been well coached. Coming from the Louisville offense and Bobby Petrino, he probably ran more pro concepts than Baker Mayfield at Oklahoma in a more complicated offense than what Sam Darnold ran at USC. So the fact that he's able to sit back and watch and learn a little bit more and become a little bit more accurate as a passer certainly is going to serve him well. But he's a dynamic player, and when you watch him every week with the ball in his hands, he does things I've never seen anyone do other than maybe Barry Sanders as a running back.
He's an unbelievable athlete. He's gotten better year in and year out. He's worked on things. My comparison to Deshaun Watson, meaning everything you doubted him about everything you doubted in college, he has shown that he's improved year in and year out. The thing, though, as a former player and also being in Baltimore, you have Ozzie. That's his this will be his last draft. But then you have a new GM, Eric DeCosta. And when new GMs come, new set of eyes. So they want their guy. So to me, the writing on the wall is Joe is their guy for now.
For now.
But when Eric takes over, Lamar's his guy, and so they are moving into a new direction and a new team and a new philosophy. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this unfolds, because there's going to be not just some thick competition. You got RG3, you're out, buddy. You got Lamar Jackson and Joe, who looks like he might be just like us. About 5 more minutes till we out of here.
Okay, Steve Young, I got a feeling at some point they're going to be partying like it's 1999 over in Baltimore, because that was the last time 5 quarterbacks were drafted in the first round, 1999, and here we go again. And somebody said it earlier, because the philosophy will have to change. Greg Roman and Marty Morningwig will have to get a little creative, and they're going to have to think outside the box just a little bit. And they're going to love it. They're going to have some fun with it, because this kid is going to be fun to watch, and defensive coordinators are going to hate seeing this guy. And you know what? I'm going to hate seeing you go, Troy. Troy Aikman, you've been doing games for a long, long time. Now he did his first draft. Did you have fun?
I did. Thanks for having me.
You did a great job, man. Thank you.
You guys are great.
You got a UCLA quarterback getting drafted?
The smart guy.
Huh? The smart guy. They're all smart. Let's send it back inside. Take it away, guys.
Hey, the Ravens and the Bills and the Patriots weren't the only ones with 2 first-round draft choices tonight. Troy Aikman's broadcasting partner, Joe Buck, and his lovely wife, Michelle, who we knew for many, many years as a colleague on NFL Network, gave birth to twin boys, Wyatt Joseph Buck and Blake Andrew Buck.
Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations.
2 more first-round draft choices. Come on, look at that right there. Great stuff. Great stuff. Congratulations to Michelle and Joe. Great job, sir. Great having you here.
I appreciate it. Great
you got
to
it,
see
David
Chris.
Shaw.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks for being here.
You got it, David Shaw.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
So it started with a Heisman Trophy winner in the AFC North and ended with a Heisman Trophy winner going to the AFC North. How about that? Lamar Jackson and now Baker Mayfield joining the AFC North. What a night it was in Dallas. Stay tuned for your late local news on Fox, except on the West Coast. NFL Total Access is next on NFL Network. For the whole broadcast team of the NFL Network and those of us here on NFL Network and on Fox, we will see you Friday nights.